Hello. How you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you, Jeremy?
Doing pretty good.
It's hot here.
It's hot there.
It's our first hot day, and it's just uck.
It's pretty warm up here too. It's about in the 70s up here.
What's the temperature there?
It's 74 over here.
69 here.
Okay, so we're
84
on the
in
same.
Colorado. That's a problem.
It's been rainy most of the day here.
Yeah.
Adrienne, weren't you supposed to get like 5 feet of snow a couple days ago?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Denver got snow because I work from home, and a lot of us are like just a few towns apart. They were saying, "Oh my gosh, it's snowing! Oh my gosh, it's snowing!" But we got like 3 little flakes, huge flakes, and done. And then the
Wow.
next day was warm enough for everybody to run a 4K. So no.
Wow. Well, at least you didn't get dumped on like you were expecting it to.
That's a good thing because I would not be going outside.
I know you were already dreading it before it even
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, I don't do that cold stuff. Nope.
Well, being at the end of May, you should be done with it.
He was telling me it snows in May, and I'm like, you've lost your damn mind because I'm not doing that. In New Mexico, where I was, it's like 95 degrees right now.
Well, yeah, but New Mexico, where you were at, you were you couldn't go any further south without going into Mexico.
No, and that was
Yeah.
so cool because Mexico's a hell of a place to shop. You can get past the cartel. It's great.
Yeah. But wow.
You just got to have friends.
So Eileen's not with us right now. She's got some things she had to take care of. She's hoping to be able to make it later on tonight. So we will see.
Oh, shoot. Is that Rosie? Have an issue?
Yeah. Is that you, Rosie?
It might be. She's supposed to be on vacation. Enjoy your vacation.
Joanne,
Get
how
away
you
from all
feeling?
the paranormal stuff. That's Jax's. Yeah.
Jax's job.
Did I miss something? Who's Jax?
I'm not going there.
Yeah, I think I know. I think we know who that is. I'm not going either.
What the
Yeah.
heck did I miss?
Jeremy, you know more.
Actually, no, I don't. So
I don't know either. I just know just a few things here
yeah, I really don't know.
and there.
So anyway, we don't have a guest tonight. So it's pretty much like an open mic night. So anybody out there, if you have any questions you want to ask us, go ahead and ask them. Meanwhile, I do want to get the show started with the Mansfield convention that you went to, Nick.
Yep.
So how was that?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, this is my third time going to ParasiteCon, and although there were a lot of guests that were there, last year and the year before, it was still just great going out, heading out to a big con in a place like Mansfield, just to be there. I mean, even without the investigation, it was just fun to be there and just associate with everyone there. So it was great.
Did you get to meet anybody that you hadn't met before?
See, I don't know if there really was anybody because like everyone who was there for the majority of them, I've already met previously and personally. Like they had Mike Ricksecker who was there. We had Brian J. Cano, Dave Schrader, Andrea Perrone, the Ghost Brothers were there. Heather Taddy. Actually, no, Heather Taddy was there. That was my first time meeting her. There was just there was a lot to go through. I mean, actually, one of my investigators, Dana Strichter here from Chicago, was also there. So it was the first time I seen one of our Chicago investigators at this event participating in it. In other words, so but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We're
I
actually
would have liked to have
on-
gone there, but I had another event. Actually, two events, really.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about some some event that you were going to.
Yeah, it's the 101 Para Cafe down in Winchester, Indiana. That was interesting.
Oh, you know what? I also just remember too. Someone else was Ben Hansen was there too, along with oh man, who's the guy I'm thinking of? His name? Oh, Adam Berry. He was there as well. He actually had a huge sense, like a great sense of humor, like when he was speaking. I mean, he was trying to be more of the Q&A kind of guy, but he was. I don't know. He was just making a lot of us laugh. So Amy Bruni was supposed to be there that same weekend, but unfortunately something came up at the last minute, so she was unable to attend. Although she was there along with Chip Coffey last year in 2019.
Chip, I don't know. I don't know how much I would love to meet him because he's just he's in between arrogant and really he knows what he's doing. So it's like he's flying that little middle ground there, and it would depend on his mood whether or not you could speak to him or not. Without telling him, look, you put your pants on the same way I do. Knock me down.
I think Tom McNicholas would beg to differ because he was with me for that event. So, and yes, it would have been a blast except for the rain and car. Well, yeah, the car wreck. Now, I will say this: we did have torrential rains that did occur on Saturday. Like there was a huge storm. In fact, Adam was like playing jokes about it while he was speaking. So, but what we didn't realize was that. But at the same time, we kind of expected for a place like Mansfield, parts of the prison water had came through parts of the roofs and walls and just started not flooded, but just started just start affecting some areas. In fact, Mike Ricksucker, for example, he had to put his books into a box immediately because you don't have that. It's not only the water, the rainwater you got to worry about; it's the humidity that could cause several problems.
Makes you wonder how much black mold is there if that happens every time it rains.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Carl, hi.
What's going on,
Hello,
Carl?
Carl.
Jeremy, did you see that comment from Jockey Solomon McKay?
Which one
Oh.
is it?
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, this one? Okay.
There you
Um,
No, there was one before that.
Oh, this one then.
There we go.
yeah. While Nick was explaining it, I did display it and give 2 thumbs up. I was hoping he caught that.
I was
'Cause I
making
did-
sure he was.
Yeah, because I did not want to interrupt Nick. And then also here, Jockey, actually, I did put a video out last week on TikTok. It is my first song back. I got to admit, it felt pretty damn good to do it again. And the thing with TikTok now is that now you can upload 10-minute videos, so I don't have to splice them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to split them.
Carl,
So
how you
that's-
doing?
That's really good.
How's what's going on with Carl? Because I didn't know anything about.
You just said hi.
Oh, I thought you said how you feeling. So I thought is there
I said,
is
how you
something
feeling?
wrong?
Happy birthday, Carl. Today is
Yes.
his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. And
Happy
Carl,
birthday,
I also
Carl.
need a number from you from your locations for the Given Tree event. I don't know if you saw the chat, but I need a head count of the maximum amount of people that you can have at your locations. Only for the spectators. Do not include the staff members nor the guides, just for those that'll be getting a ticket, and it needs to be an even number.
Who's
So
Facebook
if
user?
you want to do say
Yeah.
like 15. I need either a 14 or a 16. So when you get the chance call, please let me know how many for both of your locations.
Now, I'm not sure who Facebook user is, but you got to give StreamYard permission to use your name so we can see you.
Yep, that's going to put up our first rolling banner for the day.
Yes. I remember when I think Tom's still watching, but I still remember that night he was trying to get his name shown and it kept having issues.
I know that he kept doing the comments and it still showed up a Facebook user. I'm sorry, but I had to laugh.
Oh, I was like, nope, still not working.
That's cool. What Jockey just said, that's pretty cool, Jerry.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, from Scotland. That's cool.
Thank you, Jockey. I have been doing a lot of videos on TikTok and then uploading them also onto Facebook, talking about my injuries and things that have been happening as well. And I just kind of threw that music video in there in the middle, so it might have slipped through the cracks for a lot of people.
Okay, so people were asking me about my car. Told them I was abducted by an alien spaceship.
There we go.
That's his story, and we are sticking to it.
Yeah, well, and I was the witness here. Yeah. So he's telling the truth. Won't be long before the Men in Black show up to tell us to shut up about it.
Hey, if you can have Will Smith showing up at your door and actually talk to him, to me, that's going to be a good day.
Yeah. Provided he doesn't punch you in the face like he did to Chris Rock.
Well, yeah, I'm not going there. I will say this, and thank you, Jockey. I will say this. I heard Greg talking about this. I didn't realize that it was raining inside that jail. Because he said he had never been to a location where you're inside and it's just raining.
Yep.
In there. I don't know if the area that he was talking about just didn't have a roof, or if it has some really bad leaks there, or what. Would you be able to shed some light on that, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time that we ever came out. I mean, I got to say, yeah, it's the first time we ever came out to Mansfield where these torrential rains occurred. Now, we were there previously. I think there was one other occasion in which, it was raining outside, but it wasn't enough for it to leak through the cracks and stuff like that. I don't know if despite the fact that they say that they get all this money to try to restore, fix up the building and whatnot, just seeing the fact that there was water coming through the cracks of the roof, it just didn't sound like, it sounds like to me little to no work has really been done, especially, after all these years. So, that really kind of sent a message to us, because how do we not know if it could have been worse? Because, again, we're fortunate enough that it occurred on like one side of the cell block, like where people were not sitting. I think it would have been a real downfall for a lot of people through all these rainstorms that we had. So, but I'm just surprised nothing has been done about it.
I'm still sharing this show out.
Yeah, I've been still sharing.
If it's a flat roof, it's going to be really hard to do anything about it.
Tom had once said at one point, I mean, I don't think this is possible, but at the same time, it can be because of the age of the roof. But he said something like, one of these days, parts of the roof is going to collapse. I mean, some parts may still hold up, but you can tell there's some weak spots on that roof that any more pressure on that's going to collapse right in.
Well, when you're talking about older locations, if they don't do maintenance on them, it is going to happen.
Yep.
And that's why it's really important for us to not try to get in these locations free, not try to scam our way through them. They need the money to be able to do the upkeep on it. Now, if they're not doing the upkeep on it and they got all the money, that's their problem. But
Right.
if they're giving away too many free overnights, whatever, that is an issue because it is part of the historical registry.
Right. Well, that would explain too, because they did have a one of those celebrity night investigations, which those are always expensive as hell. But at the same time, though, there's obviously a good reason for it. It's not just based on, of course, because of whoever's there that's actually investigating it. It's just more for the fact it's supposed to be going for the restoration of Mansfield, even though not much has really been done.
Right.
So, whatever's going on. Oh, what's up, Bob? Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, whatever's going on with that money now, that's beyond me.
Right. Yeah, and that's something else is, a lot of people don't give what they should to the locations because some of the locations are not doing what they should with it. Right. Now, eventually that's going to come back to the historic department and they're going to get it taken away. But
exactly.
The ones that are doing what they should, we tip waiters and waitresses. We know we're going to have to get into that location. If we're sleeping there, it saves us motel money, breakfast money, whatever. Why don't we just give a tip like we would to the guy who takes our suitcases up, the waitress at the restaurant? If they're doing what they need to, why not?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand, like what's been going on with that, because they've been saying this for a couple years, and little to nothing has been done. I mean, if they actually were doing something about it, we would have seen parts of the prison not only cleaned up, because a lot of the parts of the prison is still extremely, like, there's rust, there's mold, there's dust everywhere. There's even dirt in some areas, just absolutely filthy dirty. I mean, who knows when the last time this prison has really been cleaned? I mean, the lobby area is relatively maintained and cleaned, but the rest of, like, the actual prison blocks themselves, they're filthy. They really are. So that tells me a lot that they haven't really done too much about it.
Well, maybe some of these locations, we can send them care packages. And Mansfield, we can send them a care package of Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue. Hey, you know what? Gorilla Glue is, the state of Ohio is the founding state of Gorilla Glue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not joking. It's actually true. Ohio is the founding state of Gorilla Glue.
Mansfield is a bucket location for a lot of people.
Yes.
It's well known. It's been on lots of TV shows. Why would it not be maintained? They could charge. It
was in a movie.
Yeah, well, it's actually been in a couple movies, but of course, obviously, the most notorious of them all was The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. Actually,
that's the only one that I know of.
There were 3 other movies that were filmed, 3 or 4 other movies that were, at least 3 made before Shawshank Redemption. 2 of those, or maybe all 3, because they were actually shot back in the late 70s and 80s. Those were the only movies that were shot while Mansfield was actually still in operation as a maximum security prison.
What year did it stop being one?
It closed down in 1990.
Okay, so 4 years. Okay, yeah. I'm old, but that's not too far back.
Yeah, well over 30 years ago, and just 4 years before, Shawshank was filmed.
I don't know who this Facebook user is, but tell us. You said Mansfield is a great.
Is a great.
Okay, tell us what is it you like about it?
Well, while we're waiting for him, I got to point this out. How you said, Adrienne, like it's been on everyone's list. If you go down to like a particular lobby area, and Jeremy, I think you're going to know exactly where I'm talking about. It's like
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, you haven't? So I thought you were there before.
I've only driven through Mansfield, and that was on the way over like when I was going to Madison Seminary or
Okay.
Wildwood. I have never actually been to the jail. So um, in 2 months time, no, 3 months
3
time, I will
months.
be going there for the first time ever.
Oh, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is there's a small room that's out in the bullpen area. It actually almost has more of a resemblance to like a room like you'd see in a basement. They got like bathrooms, they got an elevator vending machine, but right on the side of the wall they have like three different maps. Like the first map is of the state of Ohio. The second one is of the entire United States as well as U.S. territories, and then the third is the world map, and it has all these different pins on them, signifying people who have visited Mansfield, but also where they were from.
Oh.
It's actually pretty cool because, like, for the world, like if you look at the Ohio map, you would expect that the entire state would be covered. Only like a good like central and north part of the state are covered with all these pins, and then for the United States, like the entire country, you have mostly people from the Midwest. Like I think the least amount of and get this, Adrian, the least amount of people that has come to Mansfield according to the pins were from New Mexico. There were only like two pins.
I believe that. There's a lot of stuff there in New Mexico. Just people aren't into the paranormal there. They'd rather say, nope, it doesn't exist, than make money off of it. Now, did you catch anything in Mansfield? Were you able to get anything paranormal while you were there?
Well, because we just didn't really have enough time because there was a lot of people there. We weren't really able to do an investigation. Although last year we did have a brief mini investigation in oh man, I can't remember what room it was. It was the room where there's no windows and it's like it's not solitary. It's a separate room, and that's really the only place that you could pretty much do an investigation anytime because it's not one of those rooms where it's completely crowded by a lot of people. And there's even a light switch you can turn on and off if you will.
Tom.
Oh, good to see you, Tom. Thanks for tuning in. So last year we did I did a cat ball session as well as a ghost box session, which I did get a few responses. And still remember I had a few people watching. It was also the first time I brought some of my other friends along with, which they were pretty impressed from what I was getting. So the closest I've gotten so far is just like cat ball readings and a few ghost box responses.
I
There
think
were like
there's
four
some,
of you all together, weren't there?
What's that?
There were four of you all together, right? When
Yeah.
you took the cross country, when you drove out there.
Well, we actually took two separate cars because Tom he was planning on leaving early, and for me, I went with my friend. Well, and of course, Jerry. I know you know my friend Don.
Yes.
Don came out, and so did
Oh.
Nikki. Oh, Sharon from
Yeah, we have
Australia.
a viewer from YouTube. Hi, Sharon, and from Australia.
Welcome.
Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the show.
So, but yeah, I brought two friends of mine with. We ended up leaving early the very next morning, which if you remember, Jeremy, too, at one point we stopped at a Culver's, when we were getting closer to Mansfield, and we were only just 5 minutes away from your house, you said. I remember you said something like, you're literally just like 5
That's
minutes
right.
from
Yeah, you did. Because I
Yeah.
remember you were going to try to stop at the house going back home.
Yeah.
But you guys were either running late or you were on a tight schedule or something. But yeah, I remember you told me you stopped at Culver's. And Culver's is good food, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's good stuff. Yeah, I think the reason why we had to leave in such a hurry on Sunday was I think it was because Nikki's boyfriend was waiting for us. He was ready to get picked up by Nikki, so we just didn't have enough time to really stick around as much as we originally hoped we were going to.
Yeah, and you were also going to try to do that this year on the way home.
Right.
But you were running really late getting home this time.
Yeah, we didn't get back home until probably about close to around 10 or 11 o'clock. So we were, and by the time I got home, obviously, I was totally exhausted.
Ooh. Jeez, Adrienne, what happened to your camera?
Yeah, what's going on over there?
I'm not real sure. That's kind of cool, though.
It is. It looks.
It's like
It looks like a tree.
yeah, it does, right? It looks like a tree, like the shadow of a tree.
Yeah,
Check that out.
that's pretty cool.
Let's
I
see
like
if this will fix it, though. Yeah, there we go.
Up, yep, there it
I
is.
just don't like that in my face. There we go.
Hey, Jenny, good to see you.
Hi, Jenny.
Jenny. Okay, so tell me y'all's theory about this. We have places like Mansfield, like all the places in New Orleans that are either like plantations, whatever, that are bucket list for most of us. What do y'all think? Do the spirits there get tired of people just constantly, hey, are you there? Hey, talk to me. Hey.
I think it's
human.
very possible.
Or at least we hope they're human. And we as humans are tired of people coming over going, hey, talk to me. Hey. So why wouldn't they?
I tell you what, honestly, sometimes 1 or 2 people a day is enough for me.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Let alone 10 people a day.
Right. I think after a while they're just like, you know what? We're done. We're not talking tonight.
I'll tell you what. I think the locations that only do like Fridays and Saturdays would be better than some of the locations that go 7 days a week.
I would much rather do a location that is not known.
Yeah.
That somebody said they had an experience in and go check it out.
Right. Because there are sure a lot of them.
There is.
There's a lot of them that obviously, including us, we probably don't even know about. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And once we do, somebody will try to exploit the location, which there's nothing wrong with if there really is haunted activity there. There's nothing wrong with it. To get the upkeep, to keep it open, that's great.
Well, here's something that I was thinking about. When you were saying, these spirits might get tired of people coming. Like, think about this, and think about the irony behind this thought process. People come to the house. I'm going to do what I can to get you the hell out of my house.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And those people are going out there, oh man, you got to go and check this out. And then all of a sudden I got a crap load of people in here. Well, damn, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
Right.
Okay, Nick, what's going on with your background now?
I just switched the image, and all of a sudden this started happening. And I like Greg's comment though, and it looks like you're pushing a lot of static electricity.
Yeah, it does. It looks like they're trying to pixelate them.
All
Turn
around.
your light off, Nick.
Let's see. I mean, I'm actually just, don't forget, part of this is from the TV screen that I'm using, so I'm only just darkening it just a bit.
No.
See what it does.
Let me try something else, because there's a fate feature. Okay, that's not.
That didn't work out. No.
This is as close as I can get.
Yeah, it's like no matter which way you go, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah, this is as best as I can go.
Yeah.
I tried though.
So really quick though, for everybody out there in the audience, if you notice, every now and then we change a little scrolling banner there across. We're displaying all of the different platforms that we are on, some of which we are streaming on, and others such as TikTok. We need to have 1,000 followers on there in order to stream. We're currently at like 330, 340. So we're already a third of the way there. And then also we have a LinkedIn page where we need 150 followers, and we're at 53, I think. So if any of you guys out there have TikToks and LinkedIn or Twitter and Twitch, if you're signed up on them, look up Thames Network and give us a follow so that we can put our shows out there. How's that for a sales pitch?
Are they the same timeline as us in the living world? That's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I can't say I don't think so because there's times, of course, you see the apparitions of the clothes they died in or the clothes they wore, the most. And I think they go back to when they were the most comfortable, when they were the most happy. They may be 100 years old when they die, and you'll see them as 40 because that's when they were most happy. Do I think they know what year it is and what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. Unless they're like residual. But yeah, I do think they know what's going on. I think you have a better sense of understanding everything once you're gone. And just like time, people talk about don't watch an investigation because it can pop into your phone. That's not exactly how it works, but you give it enough attention. Just like you go into a location and you're in tune with the spirits there, you're going to get some interaction. If your vibe with them, you're going to get some interaction. It's the same way watching an investigation or a live or anything else. Time and space is nothing for spirits. They can think about it and be there. So that's kind of my theory on that.
Right.
You know, thinking about that, I wonder if they may eventually become nonlinear.
That's a good theory. I didn't even think of that one.
Now, I was just thinking about that when Shaggy, I got to say I love your name. I do.
Yeah, Shaggy
Shaggy
Rogers.
Rogers. I love that name. I do.
Don't
I
continue
love that
singing
name.
that.
I'm a big Scooby fan, so I'm gonna gravitate to it. Um, but no, something I was thinking about with for those of you who are familiar with it, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. They they have these beings that are non-linear. So when they where they are at, they have no concept of time, and they can
Right.
show up at any point on the timeline whenever they
Right.
want. I wonder if that may be the case for some of these spirits because when you're doing an investigation, you automatically are thinking that these are people that have already passed away from back in the past. And then there have been other theories that we are actually interacting with the transdimensional beings. But what if we may be interacting with somebody from the future that had passed away then, but they are non-linear and they're interacting with us now?
Well,
Right. Yeah.
somebody brought this to my attention years ago, and I've thought about it since. Think about Star Trek. Those things that they had then, even going back as far as a submarine. When a submarine was made, there was no technology like that. Where did they come up with that idea? When Star Trek was made, there was none of that going on. None of it. So where did they get that? They had to have got it somewhere because it's happening now. A lot of that is coming true now. Where did they get that back then? I don't know.
The cell phone.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you for joining us. The cell phone, if you think about it, is pretty much what that the like a flip phone that Cook had. He would
Right.
go on here, Mr. Spock. We can do that now.
Mhm. Yeah. And what about that Men in Black with the little light thing and make you forget? I don't think that's too far fetched. There's a couple of people I know that were in the military that saw a flash of light, were in the hospital, their records are blacked out. That's all they remember was that flash of light.
Yep.
Could be,
Now,
yeah.
is that true? I don't know. But
The iPad.
mhm.
The iPad that we have now is basically like the data collector on Star Trek.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's a lot of things on Star Trek that inspired and directly inspired some of the technology that we have now.
Natalie, I hope not, because I'm not very nice sometimes.
To haunt yourself.
Yeah,
I
to
haunt
haunt
myself
yourself.
on a daily basis, so I can relate to that.
I'm not very nice sometimes. I hope that doesn't happen.
Um, the one thing from Star Trek that I would love to have right now is the transporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's say like on my recent trip to Las Vegas, I'm ready to go to Vegas. I get on my little transporter. 2 seconds later, I'm right there.
Hmm.
If I want to come out and visit Adrienne and Zach, 2 seconds, I'm right there.
Yep.
Hey, you guys feel like having some company? Yeah, come on over. Okay. I'm 700 miles away from you now. I'll be there in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just make
It would
sure
be so
that.
nice, I don't know
Well,
that it's that far.
don't forget, because in addition to Star Trek, there was one other movie that did that, but it went terribly wrong. That was The Fly. Remember, they used transportation pods. Just make sure you don't get a
Oh,
fly
yeah.
mixed in.
Yep.
Make sure it's
Well,
like,
just make sure you don't have an insect in there when you do.
yeah, like keep bugs out, or make some kind of mutated resistant transportation pod.
Yeah.
That way the fly and you can go to the same spot. Just won't be mixed up with each other.
Unless they have it just like Star Trek, where you can have multiple people there on the same pad, and you still come out as yourself.
Yeah, well, no, I was actually thinking you come out as somebody else. Like, you got this guy's arm, you got this woman's arm or something. Like, I thought you just get all mixed up or something like that. So,
Who's the one person that we would like to investigate with and why? That's an
Well,
interesting question, actually.
well, I'd like to go a little bit further on that one, Jenny, if I may. Um, shall we make that who is the one person you would like to most investigate with that you have not investigated with? Because
That's
a lot of us have
people out right
investigated
now.
with so many people.
oh, there's so many.
Yeah. Um, the one person, I'll tell you what, I know who my one person would be. Um, and I was actually in a group with him before, but we never got to really directly work one on one together. I'm going to go with Mustafa on this one.
He is
Mustafa.
awesome. He
Oh
is
my
awesome.
God, that guy's
Yeah.
great.
I'm going to go with Mustafa on this one, just as a one-on-one investigation instead of a group.
Right.
I did it
That's
with
who
the
I
group.
would pick.
I did it with the group with him because he was in our group, but
I was with you too, Adrienne, when we were at
Yes.
the temple. Yeah.
Yes.
We were in the same group, Adrian.
and
Yeah.
you weren't with us. You weren't with us at that point. When we were on the stage there, you weren't with us.
Oh, okay. I'm
So-
thinking the night one.
He's like, this was the first night because I didn't get to go the second night, but he like makes you feel like it's one-on-one. If you have a question, if you have something you want to try, he's right there with you, and everybody else can watch,
Right.
but he's right there with you doing it. Now, somebody else wants to try something, he does the same with them. He is that one-on-one with people, even though there's a whole crowd there. And most people were so starstruck, they either just did this, or they wouldn't talk to him at all.
Or they
So
just
it's like,
wanted to be close to him.
Right.
yeah, so it's like, treat him like a human. Treat anybody like a human. They put their pants on the same way we do. If they're arrogant, leave them alone. If
Right.
they're not, Mustafa is absolutely not. Get the chance to talk to them. They're amazing. There's a few of them that way. The Haunted Side. They were amazing.
Patrick, yeah.
Query. Those guys were amazing. I didn't know who they were. I treated them like everybody else because I had no clue who they were. And my main focus was I was supposed to communicate with Mustafa till he got there and make sure he's okay and everything's going right. And, that was my main focus. So Patrick, I was like, the haunted side, okay. Of course, I'm new to the field. I had no idea. But he is amazing. He is so sweet. Both of them
He's also very patient too, because I still remember that we were going to begin the investigation, although I think we began a few minutes earlier. And I was like, oh, well, I'm actually still putting my stuff. He's like, no, that's fine. You go ahead, put the rest of your stuff and meet us upstairs. So it was really nice that he was able to give me that kind of easy pathway, so I didn't have to struggle to put everything together so I could bring it upstairs.
He did a lot of things that we know of behind the scenes that we're not going to put out there, but he did some things behind the scenes that most famous people would never have thought of doing. That's all I'll say about that. He's an amazing person, not just an investigator, not just a public figure. He's an amazing person.
Yes, he is. Clarissa said, you and her are the same on that.
Oh, on people put their pants on one leg at a time. And yeah, I have no time for idiots. I just don't.
I can definitely tell you, because I have dealt with both of you. Adrienne and Clarissa would get along just like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they want to be assholes, we'll treat them like one. I don't care who they are. Okay, I'll tell you a little story real quick. I was helping my friend waitress in a little cafe in Bonita, Oklahoma. I went to go pick her up. It was the end of her shift. And all the waitresses are going, oh, God, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to wait on him. He doesn't tip. He's an asshole. And I'm like, what is the problem? Who are you talking about? Garth Brooks. I'm like, oh, yeah? I got this. Give me your apron. Give me your pads. I got this. All of them were like, take it. I did. I was seating them, and he goes, do you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're about third in line. That's who you are. I finished seating everybody else, took their drinks, did what I was supposed to, treated him like anybody else, sat him down, him and his ex-wife at that point. And he was like, do you know who I am? I said, good God, you've said this twice. I'm sure you're going to tell me. Who are you? He goes, I'm Garth Brooks. I said, okay. I'm Adrienne. I don't know what to tell you. So what do you want? And I tell you what, I treated him like I would anybody else. I matched his asshole right there. And when we got done, he did leave a tip. He was not an asshole by the end of it. And I walked up to him. He didn't know who I was. I knew his mom and dad. They live in Tulsa. And one of my friends used to deliver uniforms to his mom and dad. They were cleaning service. And I leaned over to him and I said, just remember, your mom says you're nothing but a fat boy from Oklahoma. And don't you forget where you came from, because I think you just did. And turned around and walked away. That's the last time I seen that man.
Oh, wow.
I don't put up with it. I don't.
I'd have probably taken it one step further when he said, my name is Garth Brooks. And I was like, who?
Yeah. I was like, that's great.
Do I know you?
Well, that way he could say, I'm the country singer. Oh, I don't listen to country.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I'm the guy who would want to mess with people. I'm like, Nick Millet, who the hell are you?
I'll tell you what, though, the best person in the
Indian.
world, Chris Ledoux. I got to see one of his last concerts. Chris Ledoux. My ex-husband was doing the lighting for him at the Bonita Rodeo. It was thundering and lightning, and he does a bull at the end of the show. And he was like, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's thundering and lightning. I'm going to do it. This is what the fans want. This is what I'm going to do. He tried. We ended up getting him off of it about halfway through it because he was going to get electrocuted. But he died not too long after. He went through 2 livers, drank 2 livers away. But he was
I remember. There was a song that he did towards the end of his, before he died, that was really popular. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was a duet, but it was. I have got to change that.
I keep seeing that. I was
I,
going to say, I'll be right
I
back.
have got to change that. I keep forgetting about it. Yeah,
I
Rob,
think
it
one
makes
of
you
the
feel
there was
better.
a
last
song that
ones.
he did shortly before
I'll
he
be right
died
back.
that was very, very popular. It was almost like a musical return for him, and then he passed right after that.
This cowboy's hat, maybe.
No,
And my favorite was "What You Gonna Do with a Cowboy." Talks about what you gonna do with a cowboy when he gets on your couch and he won't leave.
no, that doesn't sound familiar.
Uh,
I want to say it has drum in its title.
okay, let's see one of his last songs.
It's like bang a drum or something. Yeah, there
I'm
you go,
probably
Rosie.
like the only country fan on here, so I'm still trying to find it. $30 Cowboy was one of his last songs. Western Skies, The Last Drive-In, The Last Cowboy in Town was some of his last songs.
Sorry,
Got
I'm
to be
just
a
reading
rodeo
on.
man.
Sorry, I just got to read Rosie's comment she just put on.
Yeah.
Nick is Jeremy's doppelganger.
Only when he puts that picture up.
Like turn
There
out
it
the
is.
camera.
Bang a drum with Bon Jovi, 1989 or 1998.
What was it?
Bang a drum with John Bon Jovi.
Wait, what is
Wow,
this we're
I
talking about?
don't guess I know that one.
It's in 1998.
What is this?
Chris
Okay.
Ledoux.
Okay, Bang a Drum. Okay.
So,
I don't
so
know that
that's
one.
98 when
What's going on, Denny?
he
Denny
died
Murray's
in
watching.
'05. So 7 years after that.
Okay. Hi, Denny.
So
How you
it wasn't
feeling?
that long after he did it. But Bang the Drum was actually my introduction to him.
Okay. Mine was "What You Gonna Do with a Cowboy" because I've listened to country all my life. So yeah. Rosie used to live in Tulsa. Did you know his mom and dad?
Yeah.
They were so cool. They were so sweet.
Garth Brooks is not his
That's
real
awesome,
name,
Denny.
is it? Is it?
Huh?
Is Garth Brooks his real name, or is that just his stage name?
It's not his real name.
Let
me see if I can
Asking
find it.
who's? That's what Rosie's
You also
asking.
get that alter ego of some bullshit. Chris
Chris
Martin.
Gaines, I have that album.
He was so stupid.
Well, what it was is that CD that he put out as Chris Gaines, that was supposed to have been a soundtrack of a movie that was going to be put out, but the movie never got put out. So
His real name is Garth Brooks, but his name is Troil Garth Brooks.
Rosie said that she's been to Toby Keith's house, but doesn't know Garth.
Okay, I have not been to Toby Keith. I have not met Toby Keith.
Yeah.
I bet that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. See, I would have thought Rosie would have known Garth Brooks either, since she said
And
she
his
used to live in
daughter,
Tulsa.
Wolf,
And
Shaggy,
his
what?
daughter, Wolf, what?
Explain that, please.
Yeah,
I
please
don't
explain
think he
that.
meant that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be.
I don't know. Every time I hear somebody say "woof" about somebody like that, I don't see that as a compliment.
Yeah. Well, Rosie said she. Oh, yeah. He's saying not sexual.
Okay.
And
So
then,
how was he? Like, was he decent? Did he act like he was famous, or did he act normal?
I guess Rosie's bringing Jason into this.
I haven't seen Jason on, but hey, Jason.
Well, no, she's just tagging him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on here, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Jason's been working 2 full-time jobs,
Yeah.
so he's been really, really quiet.
I miss at least saying hi to him.
Oh, Jason is a huge Garth fan. That's what
Okay.
Rosie's saying.
Oh, sorry, Jason.
It's too late now. He'll have to go.
Bubble, but
He's going to go back and rewatch.
he's really an asshole. I promise you. Or maybe he got humbled that day. I don't know. I haven't talked to him since. Maybe, I don't know.
I tell you what, speaking of Garth Brooks, on when I do my trips, I have a whole bunch of CDs with me for me to listen to, and one of them was his first big hits package, the hits, and I forgot how good his music was back in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
Now they sound too generic, but back then they were good. But then again, there's a lot of music today that's generic and it all sounds the same.
I know. Rosie's grandma used to live in the same town as Reba McEntire once. Met her once.
And Reba
Oh my gosh.
was another CD that I had with me. It wasn't an actual CD, but a single CD that I had with me.
I always wondered about her. What'd she say about her? Is she down to earth as she acts, or is she stuck up?
Garth is more country sound than other country rock vibes. Country is
Yeah,
dry.
it is.
Oh well, no, is dying.
Right,
Dying.
it absolutely is.
He is right, because a lot of the country music people are going into that into the electronic music now.
Yeah, I know. That's the unfortunate part of not just with country music, but with a lot of different genres.
But the thing is, it's really striking country music because it is a huge departure from what they normally do. Right. Now you don't get that twangy sound like we used to that a lot of people do enjoy. Now they're doing that. I don't want to say it's pop music because it's
really not.
Yeah. Now
it's something in between anymore, but
now the transition that Taylor Swift made going from country music to pop, that first album that she made, 1989, was brilliant. It was probably the best CD she has ever put out.
Yeah. I don't know about her.
You know what? I'll tell you to tell you guys the truth, and it was never my intention. I actually saw Taylor Swift at I saw her at a Rolling Stones concert almost 10 years ago. She was like the not in the introduction, but she just showed up out of nowhere with Mick Jagger. They just sang one song together, and then she was gone. So we had no idea she was supposed to be there. Yeah, it was at a Rolling Stones concert.
Sometimes that happens. Now, Taylor, she is one of my personal favorites, whether if it's country or pop. I mean, I like it all. Now, she did get a little weird during the Reputation album, but the songs on that album were good. Now, the last two that she just put out, Folklore and Evermore, I don't know what to think about those. Because she has made another departure from the pop, but she hasn't really gone country, but it's more like folk pop.
Yeah. I don't know. I taught my grandkids, all of them. My kids, my grandkids are all still singing the same songs we used to sing when we were younger. Everything that glitters is not gold. My granddaughter could sing that from top to bottom.
Prince.
That's part of our karaoke.
That's a Prince song, and that's probably my favorite Prince song.
No. That's not a Prince song. No.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Not where we're singing it. No. No.
Wait a minute. What is the lyric that you said?
Everything that glitters is not gold. It's about a rodeo, and his wife leaving him for the rodeo.
Okay. Slightly different, because the Prince song is all that glitters ain't gold. So
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Now,
she was
yeah,
talking
now that
about
you
a
said
different
that,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like Delta Dawn. All my kids and grandkids can sing Delta Dawn. They will belt that shit because that's what they grew up on. Hardly anybody knows that anymore. What either one of those are.
My first foray into singing was "Baby Got Her Blue Jeans On."
Yep, I know every
I
word to that one too.
I don't know who sang that one. I barely even remember how the song goes, but I remember that was the very first song I learned how to sing.
I'm sure they
She was
probably have
walking
it up
across
on
the street,
YouTube.
the guys are looking at her and whistling at her, and baby's got her blue jeans on. She can't help it. That's what the whole song's about. And it was Mel McDaniel.
Okay. Yeah, I think Mom introduced me to that song.
Yep, that was our generation.
hmm and country music during this time, like the late '80s, early '90s, that was when country music was good.
Yeah.
Was very, very good. Like I still remember Kathy Mattea's 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses.
I do too.
Yeah. And Garth Brooks, The Red Strokes. That was one of my favorite songs during that spring period. Okay, I am not going there.
My mother dedicated that song to me, so that says something.
Yeah.
Like what Denny just that blue jeans was spray painted on.
You're damn straight they
Yeah,
were.
I am not going there.
Yeah.
Trucker tunes, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I was friends with so many truck drivers. But here's the bad part. I can do the Dougie. We're not going to go into some of those songs because they're not very nice. But anyway,
I was gonna
I
say.
do both of those genres.
Yeah, me, I am a huge music fan, so I can talk music all day long.
That's it, Rosie.
What Rosie said, everybody's watching. She walks by.
That's part of the lyrics, yeah.
Yep. See, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not. I know it sounds crazy. I mean, I'm not that huge of a country music fan, but I do have my exceptions, and there actually is one song that I do like, and this is actually one of the '90s country songs, Clarissa. It's John Anderson's Seminole Win.
Yes.
Yeah,
That got very old very quickly for me.
from
Like
1992.
Garth Brooks and his rodeo song Latigold, and I
I like this song because I think it's like a great song to listen to when you're on a road trip, whether you're going to
Roll,
Florida
roll,
or not.
Seminole Win. Is that how it goes?
What is it?
Roll, roll, Seminole Win.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah. Yep. Another favorite of mine was Neil Diamond's "No Doubt About It."
Yeah. You know what? I actually got to point this out.
I think Adrienne. I think it was one of his earlier songs.
You know, I got to point
And
this
yeah, Shaggy,
Yeah.
this is a paranormal talk.
It is. We
That's
just-
fine. Oh no, that's fine. I'm gonna tell you what. I have every one of his songs, and my daughter, her favorite one was where Daddy took her fishing, and she said, "Daddy, won't that hook hurt the fish's lip?" They threw away the worms and chased butterflies. It was the cutest song.
Played
What
country
is it?
music in the 70s.
It's Red Sabine, and
Oh,
he
wow.
talks about he took his baby girl fishing, and she said, "Well, Daddy, won't that hook hurt the fish's lip? And won't we kill this worm?" And he threw the worms away, let him go, and start chasing butterflies with her. Said, "Forget it."
I am not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Denny said that he played country music in the 70s as a drummer and backup vocalist.
Oh, I bet. This man has done so much. He has so much knowledge about so many things.
Hey,
One
Pickle Tom's
country
on.
song
What's up,
from the
Pickle Tom?
70s that I really enjoyed is Conway Twitty
Yeah.
and somebody named Joni is Don't Cry Joni.
What genre did you go to?
This is Conway Twitty back in the 70s.
Oh,
The lyric is like, Joni, Joni, don't you cry. Something like that.
I can't help but think of anytime you mention Conway Twitty Gervais when like
Don't cry, Tony.
when Family Guy used to show clips of his performance on their show, like usually it was clips of him from the 70s. Ever see those clips
Yeah.
before? Yeah.
Oh man, there was so many great country songs back then. What Might Have Been by Little Texas.
Yeah.
Mr. Conway.
Mr. Conway Twitty.
Right.
Peter Griffin. Yeah. When they were presented on Family Guy.
Ladies
Ghost
and
Riders in
gentlemen,
the
Mr.
Sky.
Conway Twitty. I got one
Yeah.
for you. I just got to remember the name. Hang on.
I gotta point this out quickly. I mean, again, that song that I mentioned, Seminole Wind. Get this, how I discovered that song, believe it or not, and this kind of is associated with my vest. Actually, is I actually discovered that song through a video of the Mongols Motorcycle Club. Like them, like I think it was like the Florida chapter. They were they were driving on their motorcycles, but the whole video was set to music to the song Seminole Wind. So that's where and usually they use a lot of metal music, but it was one of the rare cases they use country music instead.
Diamond Rio, that was another really good band. There's a song that they did, One More Day. Diamond Rio did a song called One More Day that I really liked. Ricochet. They weren't mainstream for very long, but they made a big impact when they first came out. Daddy's Money. I think that was Ricochet. Then there was He Left a Lot to Be Desired. Strong Enough, I think, or I'm Not Strong Enough to Be Your Man.
Right. Oh, that's Sheryl Crow. Strong Enough to Be My Man. That's by Sheryl Crow from the mid-90s.
No, different one.
Oh, a different version. Okay, because I'm only familiar with the Sheryl Crow version. Now, Denny says, when I go to the grave, I will go having had a life that I did and I wanted to do and had a heck of a ride.
That's good. That's good.
Jill's like, I think she was talking about you, Adrienne. She's like, yeah.
Damn straight. So, I'm going to use one of the not so nasty ones, and let's see if anybody knows who sings this. Which one isn't so nasty? Dancing with a guy named Fred. Does anybody know who that is?
I don't see. I only have a few country likes. So I'm more of an oldies and metal fan. I'm more of an oldies and metal fan.
What is it again, Adrienne?
It's a little bit like Ron White. It's kind of country, but not quite.
What's the lyric?
And Dancing with a Guy Named Fred. Or Gay Factory Worker.
Oh boy!
I'm trying not to get to the nasty ones because some of them are really bad.
Wait, are these actual song titles?
They are. Mama's Got Her Boobs Out. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely have not heard of that.
Yeah, I'm sure you have not.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm more into the metal stuff and indie rock.
Wait a minute. Would this be the singer that's got the song called "Show Them to Me"?
That's it. Same guy.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about. I can still see that music video for "Show Them to Me." I know who you're talking about. I cannot think of his name.
Don't look now. Mama's got her boobs out, showing everybody in town. Yeah. My kids used to sing that all the time. Actually, my kid okay. He sings a song. I don't know how many people we got in here that's going to be offended.
Got eight watching right now. Yeah.
He sings 12-inch and a dozen roses.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And my little boy, because I used to clean to these songs when I was little. Or when he was little. paid attention. I didn't think he was paying attention. He got
Get
kicked off
the
the
Jeopardy
bus
point.
for singing that song.
Jeopardy points.
He got kicked off the bus for singing that song. And when
Oh.
they called me, I was like,
Uh,
he heard it at
I'll
home,
take your erotic country songs for 500, please, Alex.
right? So his name's Rodney Carrington. Look him up.
That's his
And
name.
we were front row when they were singing Show Them to Me. And he
Oh,
would
boy.
actually have the audience do it. I looked
I've seen the video.
I looked next to me, and mind you, I'm front row. I am all game for this.
I'm gonna be honest. If that was
that's great.
if that was my kid that got that call, about that, they were thinking,
It's my stepson.
"Oh, your
Needless to say,
stepson."
I did not do it.
Well, I was gonna say if that was me in that situation, I got a phone call about that. I think I'd just be taking it with a grain of salt. Just
Sure you
laughing.
are, Jill.
Jill, it's
Yeah.
Rodney Carrington.
Well, just-
He is awesome. His songs are amazing. They're hilarious.
When you're talking about people that are putting out funny songs, most people would automatically say, because he's the most famous one there is, Weird Al Yankovic.
You know,
Yes, of
I
course.
never paid attention to him. Ron White, Rodney Carrington, I can do that all day.
There's another band out there, and I think it's an Indiana local band. I could be wrong on that, but I think they are from Indiana. They are called the Electric Amish.
Let's
The
look.
Electric Amish.
Yes,
Wow, that's quite a
Um,
name.
they do some parodies. I've listened to them. They are pretty good.
Indiana-based parody rock band that takes well-known rock standards and recasts them from a heavily tongue-in-cheek Amish perspective.
Yep.
I wonder how the Amish community takes.
I will have
takes
to look
it.
that up for sure.
Yeah.
I
I
can't help
haven't
but wonder,
heard
like, how
anything from these guys for a long, long time, so I don't know if they're still around, but I know that they were pretty popular locally.
So they're called the Electric Amish. She said, right?
Yes.
Some of
I'm
the other
looking them
songs
up
that
right now.
Rodney sings that my grandkids actually can sing.
They
Don't ask.
okay. So
But Show Them to Me, Titties and Beer. That was actually really funny. The one I just talked about, and then there's Dear Man Part. We're not going to get into that.
yeah. So
Put your clothes back on. They're hilarious.
okay. So I'm looking up. I just looked them up on Wikipedia, and oh yeah, it started from it wasn't Indiana. They actually make up humor of both Amish and Mennonite cultures.
Mhm.
For example, Outsiders are called the English. The band rose to stardom after performing on the Bob and Tom show, where they can occasionally still be heard. But it doesn't say. It says, the band has not released anything since 1999. They continue to perform occasionally, mostly in the Upper Midwest. But they don't say anything else.
Bob and Tom still exist?
Well, I don't know if they still do, but when they were performing, they did show up they were on the show.
Bob and Tom. I think that's another Indiana radio show.
Let's see.
We used to
Bob
get
and
it in
Tom?
Oklahoma. The Bob and Tom
there
show.
was. Let me see. I'm looking right now because I should have kept the Wikipedia page up on it.
I remember Bob and Tom was real popular when I was in high school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It still says it's still going now for almost. Well, next year will be its 40th anniversary. So it's still
Are
going.
they based in Indiana, Bob and Tom?
Yeah, Indianapolis.
I thought they were.
I heard them in Oklahoma, Kentucky, everywhere.
Oh yeah, they got real popular.
How did we get so far off paranormal?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the paranormal.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring up a song that most people would not look at it this way.
Oh my gosh.
Alan Jackson, Midnight in Montgomery.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
That is actually one of my staple songs for Halloween.
And he actually, that beer run, yes. BWERUN beer run. Yes. Yes. Actually, I remember doing research on that song, and that is something either he or one of his friends actually had happen to him.
Yes, it is. It is. It absolutely is.
Omitting hello, what?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Shaggy. Come on now.
Yeah.
There's another song called Haunted Heart by Sammy Kershaw.
I remember the name of that song, but I don't remember much about it.
It was released as a single, and it is on his I think it is on his Essentials collection, but I don't think it was a really big hit.
Did I mention Ghost before?
Yeah.
Ghost by
We're
Michael
coming up with
Jackson.
all this, Shaggy.
Yeah.
Ghost, my favorite movie in the world. Love it. That and Dirty Dancing. That's yeah.
Now, sticking with the music genre and going into the paranormal, you won't tie somebody as famous as Michael Jackson to the paranormal like they were. He has released numerous titles: Thriller, Threaten, Ghost. Is it scary? He was
I got those songs on
big
my
fan of the paranormal.
Oh yeah, and I got a good number of those. So like Thriller, Ghost, Is It Scary? They're all on my Halloween music list. Every year, I always listen to them.
Okay,
there's another song that he did. It's called Threatened, and to me, it's a Halloween song.
I don't think I heard that one. I might have to listen to it.
That was the last song on the last actual album that he released that he was alive. Invincible is the closing song off of that CD.
Yep. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion here, but let's Shaggy obviously likes him. I liked his songs. Him as a person, not so much. But let's think about this. He had all these paranormal stuff happen. How much of it was drugs? When we go into a residential case, that's the first thing we ask. What medications are you on? What do you think? How much have you quit taking that you're supposed to be taking? And, that's what I think of him. It's like, what did you just see and why? What were you just on?
I just thought of one other song that definitely is paranormal. And this is one I think we all know what this one is. And this actually kind of goes back to country. You cannot forget, most importantly, of course, Bobby Mackey and his song Johanna.
Yes.
I tell you what, have any of y'all actually talked to Bobby Mackey? Like, actually talked to him?
No, I've never.
I have not.
We went to Bobby Mackey's Music World 10 years ago, although unfortunately he was not there. It was whoever her name was that was there that night, but Bobby Mackey wasn't able to show up that night.
He is actually somewhere between very arrogant and really wanting people to come to the building. He's like in between there somewhere.
Right.
He is very nice. He will speak to anybody that will speak to him. But yeah, I like the building. I like the history of the building. Do I think everything that people say is true? No.
No, not at all.
And he will tell you, no, it's not.
Yeah, because when we were there 10 years ago, and we kind of regret the beliefs that we had back then. We were all concerned that this was going to be a dangerous investigation. We were going to get scratched. We were going to get possessed. We were going to get attacked by demons and whatnot. The entire time that we were there, the only thing there was literally like nothing. The only thing that ever occurred the entire time that we were there, and this was even before we began our investigation, was It was August of 2012, so it was humid and it was hot in that place. I mean, my God, it was like being in a sauna. But we had this very brief cold breeze that just literally went, like unexplained cold breeze that went right past us, and that was it. There was no other activity that occurred. So it's not necessarily, I would say, that Bobby Mackey's is a joke or the activity is a joke. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
But it's not as what you see on television or as how everyone tells it. It's
not a
supposedly
joke. It's not. If you go back and do the research on the actual history, some of those things did happen. But like I said, how many of these spirits want everybody in there every day trying to make them do parlor tricks?
Right.
It's not going to happen. But Bobby, he's so funny because when he's there, a lot of times he'll sit at the bar and he'll like kind of go back away from everybody and nobody knows who he is. And he's just sitting at the bar with everybody else. Other times he'll go out and sing with everybody.
Right.
And he's amazing. He really is. When we lose him, we're going to lose a really good person because I like him.
Oh, I've seen videos of him performing, and not just videos of him performing the song Johanna, obviously. I've seen him with, even when you see him being interviewed, he's just this really, decent guy who's just like, just somebody you just want to chat with for a long time. I just really wish we had the chance of, chatting with him when we went 10 years ago, although we did kind of make a secondary visit to Bobby Mackey's a couple years later. I think it was 2016. That was when we were actually investigating a different location, which is Saddamsville Rectory, which is located in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's just a few miles away from. Yep. Yeah. Just across the Ohio River on the Ohio-Kentucky border, and we tried to make a stop over there in the hopes of trying to meet Bobby Mackey, but unfortunately it was on a Sunday. I guess the bar is not open on Sunday, so we didn't get to.
Yeah,
we were able to check out.
None of that happens. Now, I lived in Kentucky, and I was about an hour from Louisville. I was in Taylorsville, and I went to Bobby Mackey's, but I wasn't in the paranormal then. I didn't know what it even meant. I was just there just to go there. I had no idea who he was, what the history was, nothing.
Just to have a good time.
Yeah. And I met him then, never thought a thing about it. And then later, like 2 years ago, he found me on Facebook and added me and started talking. Of course, I didn't bring up, oh, yeah, do you remember me 9 years ago? No. But he really is a decent person. He enjoys it.
I have not had a chance to meet him myself, but I was there 2 years ago to investigate the building. I was there on an invite. I don't know how many people know him. His name is Stephen Okintalo. I was there on an invite with him and some people, Jeff Coddington and his wife. So me and my ex-girlfriend went to go investigate with him. Now, Stephen is different. If you look at his profile page, you're going to think either he is the most honest person there is or he is completely full of himself. But I have met him in person, and he was the nicest person he could be.
Who's Facebook user?
Yeah, we're not sure who you are. We can't see. You got to give StreamYard permission.
Tell us your name.
Yeah, whoever you are.
StreamYard.com/Facebook.
Jan. Oh, it's Jan.
It's Jan.
Yeah, why didn't you give Facebook permission?
Well, wait a minute. She's commented on shows before.
Yeah.
She might be on one of her other. Yeah, it might be that.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I do want to go back to Bobby Mackey's again at some point.
I would too, but not with many people. Just like a few of us.
I got to bring this up, and I think I probably told this story before. When we were there was one other thing that actually really got me irritated. We brought this one person, one of the other team members that was a part, the team I was a part of back then, Midnight Paranormal Society. one of the members brought a friend of theirs with, and I already knew this already. It was fake, but she was using the ghost radar, and she thought she was getting all these responses and stuff. And I was getting so annoyed and irritated. I just really wanted to step in and say, you're not really getting responses right, but you're getting that's fake right there. But she really believed that she was getting all this stuff, and I almost did it. I almost did said, "You're not getting anything from this thing. You're wasting your time."
Yeah, there is a time to do that. There's, take them aside maybe and give your opinion. But if they've got that there, somebody has told them that this is okay, this is good. They haven't had a mentor. They haven't looked into it. I try, but anytime I see somebody, oh, I got this off GhostTube, or oh, I got this off the SLS app, and I'm like,
I tell them throw that stuff away because it's not.
Exactly.
They're not worth using. And like I said, even though I do use a few apps myself, which are the more legit ones, the ones you actually have to pay for the most part, I avoid using most of those at all costs.
Yeah, I'm one of those. An app is an algorithm. An algorithm is not going to get you anywhere with that.
Yeah. So Shaggy just asked you.
In fact, if you look at the algorithms of Facebook, it screws up all the time.
Yep.
Right. Shaggy, my opinion, no, not one of them.
Yeah. These are the only apps that I've ever used that I thought somewhat worked. Yeah, I'm not fully convinced. The only ones that I've ever used were the EchoVox, the Spiritus, the Necrophonic, the EV Shifter, and Sono X10. Although Sono, I'm not convinced at all. But aside from those, I just don't use those other apps at all.
I don't at all. I've tried them with side by side with other equipment. That's not saying the other equipment's not faulty. I don't know. To me, if you can hone in your abilities, everybody's got them, do it. And when you walk in there, don't worry about getting evidence. Don't worry about showing it to anybody. It doesn't matter. When you walk in, feel what you're feeling.
Right.
See what you're getting. Don't go in knowing anything about the place. See what you get. And this is one person taught me. Actually, two taught me. One taught me to open up. The other one taught me how to be able to read different things. Be medium. So.
And another one taught you what not to do.
Yeah, a few of them taught me what not to do. But, when you go in, honestly, those experiences you cannot document. You can't prove. You're not there to prove it. You're not. So go in. Don't worry about the equipment. Just talk to them. A lot of people do it differently. Now, I've gotten to where I've taught a couple of people what I've been taught, and it's worked amazing. But some people hear it, not audibly hear it, but put words in their head that they wouldn't normally think. Where'd that thought come from? Where'd that name come from? That's the audible. Some people actually hear words. I don't. Some people actually see, like visions. I don't. That's clairaudient. Anyway, there's 4. I can only do one, and there's lots of times if you will take and put, I've done this. I know I've done it with Jeremy. Take a picture. Doesn't matter what it is. You know what it is. Send it to somebody. Say, read the picture. What do you get off of it? Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. Just read it. I'm pretty good at reading pictures. That's about the extent of what I can do, but take a picture, put it in an envelope, and just take a picture of the envelope. Send it to somebody. Say, what do you think is in here? It's
I
amazing.
remember when you tested me on a picture about a year ago.
That's what I was learning. Yes.
Yep. You sent me a picture of a woman,
Hmm.
and I'm looking at it, and I'm not going off of my senses. I am looking at different clues in the picture. And I thought, okay, here's what I think, and I told her, and she said I nailed it.
That was my mother,
Yes,
and you
Hey,
knew
what's
nothing
up, Ben?
about my mother.
I knew
Oh, it's
nothing
Deb.
about. Yeah, hi Deb. I knew nothing about her mother, nothing at all, and she said that I nailed it
Yep.
to the letter.
And he still swears he has no abilities. No, he just refuses to use them.
I just went off of what I'm observing in the picture.
And you can do it in a place too. You did it at the temple. You just didn't talk about it. But you did it.
What's going on, Anita?
All living things are made of energy. Yes. Even things that were living still might have to. Right. Energy cannot die. You cannot kill energy. Energy is continuous living. And they have started talking about, even science has started, when people die, measuring energy when it comes out. And they're starting to prove things that we've thought all along.
But there was one experiment done back in it was either the late 1800s or the early 1900s where somebody was doing this thing where he was trying to weigh people as they were dying, and there was one that was 21 grams difference from the second that somebody was alive to the next second that they were dead, and there was a 21-gram difference.
Now, okay, I got distracted because there was an ice cream. It wasn't a truck, but it was a little cart. Yeah, I had to look.
I think we all would get distracted by that one.
Yeah.
Especially since it's 86 degrees. Now, how much of that are they weighing? Okay, I've been a CNA, so I don't know how many people know this. I'm sure most do.
Mhm.
But when a person passes, they also pass fluids and defecate. Everything relaxes. Now, most people won't eat for hours before, days before they pass. They're on morphine, they're whatever. They're they're not going to eat. So they don't have much to pass. The ones that pass quickly, there's they're going to pass all of their fluids inside. It's not pretty, it's not nice to clean up, but that's the way it is. Now, I don't know if they're measuring that or not. Exactly, Anita. That's what I was trying to say. Perfect. Perfect.
Is this Jan writing? I'm just out of curiosity.
I
What?
don't know.
Whoever's writing as things network.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's Jan.
It's not Jan. Okay.
but this
Sound
person
like
has
her
said that they
talking.
kept him on the scales. So when the person
Okay.
passed, yeah, they may have released all of that, but all of that is still on the
Okay.
scale.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She said it was whoever. It was literally on a scale. Yes, only way
Yeah.
I can.
Okay.
There were other questions about that. It's like something about them being bloated and they release all that air.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know about that, but still, 21 grams. When you think about it, that's not a lot. But on certain things, 21 grams is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody, and I've
Oh.
been with a lot of
Oh, no,
people.
it is Jan.
Yeah, it is Jan.
Okay. Okay.
How
Yeah.
did she go from Facebook user to this network?
That's the only way she can do it where we know who she is.
I
Um,
guess.
Jill
she's also
said,
been in the medical field, but um, that's one of those things. If you've ever been with somebody who passed, um, there's not a lot of bloating going on. There's not.
right.
That happens after you pass. A lot of people have the misconception that rigor mortis is going to be 2 days later. It's not.
No, it's not.
It happens a few hours. And if they hold their arms up like this for a while, in a few hours, it's down. It's gone. Rigor mortis is gone.
Yep.
Um,
Jill says the weight of the energy as it's extracted as it leaves the body.
I can't argue with that.
And Jan says like they died and before the muscles relax and as the air goes out.
There we go.
Yeah,
I think that a study like this, as morbid as it sounds, I think that a study like this is still something that needs to happen.
Okay, I'm going to tell you Jan's little cliche she said the other day, which actually some people may like it, some may not, but it makes a lot of sense. Why do we continue to look at death as something terrible? Why are we looking at it as, oh my God, this is awful? It's not. It's we're going to the next place.
Right.
Whether you believe in God, whether you're pagan, it doesn't matter. Your energy, you're going to wherever you're going to go. So why is that so bad? I don't. I understand our selfish, wanting these people to stay with us. I understand that, but they're not gone. They're not.
Jan, death was celebrated. They are free from their bodies.
And honestly, this is the only person that could say something like that and make sense.
Can't measure energy of a spirit versus body. Energy is light.
Right.
Going to the study.
Really quick, I just want to interject on this. I just got a notification that Lucy the doll now has officially 200 likes on her page.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So to go with that, I think what it is because we are so used to what we have right now. We are so used to the sensations that we feel every day, being able to wake up, shower, for those that take showers, being able to move around, walk in the grass, do whatever. I think that the thought of never ever having something like that scares the shit out of them. And that what may be on the other end is going to be completely different, and that they may be afraid of what's on that other side. And I get that. And I'm going to be honest, I'm one of them. I'm afraid of what's there, because is there something truly there? Is there nothing there? Or when we die, do we just put it out of existence, or do we move on to like another life?
Okay, so we know anytime we've investigated, I've never seen or heard an investigator ever be able to get the answer. What do you see? What is beyond this? There's no answer. They can't answer. So I've had lots and lots of people who have had near-death experiences. There's actually a Facebook page for it, and it's really cool. I had a friend who passed away on a motorcycle. He was dead for 10 minutes. Anybody who knows anything about life, in 10 minutes, you're gone. Your brain's gone. Your heart's gone. You're done. Gone. But he wasn't. When they brought him back 10 minutes later, he remembered seeing, and some people tell you they see fields of flowers. They see their loved ones. They see whatever. I think it's what they want to see, because what he saw was nothing like that. He said he was sitting in a place that looked like just dark, except for two people. They were like 12 foot tall. They looked like aliens.
Wow.
Just like there was no facial features, it was dark shadows, 10 foot tall, 12 foot tall. And they looked down at him. And he said there was no words spoken, ever. They can communicate telepathically. No need for words. And they were telling him, just calm down. Just relax. He said he didn't feel anxiety. He didn't feel like he wanted his people back on earth. He didn't miss them. He didn't love them. There was nothing, no feelings, no nothing. It was empty. That's all.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden he came back and felt pain. He will never forget those people and the feeling of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, is that maybe the realm between am I going to live and am I going to die? I don't know. But he should have never made it. But he did. And he is all completely there. I don't know how.
It's like he was put into some type of empty void or something, just the way how you described it. So
it almost sounds like a midway station.
Like what do they call that? Like like a limbo of some sort.
Yeah. And that's what he said.
Yeah.
I felt nothing. No pain, no longing for my loved ones. I didn't even know who they were. I didn't think of them.
Right.
No, nothing. It was just there communicating with those people. I hope that's not what's there. And that's all that's left. I hope not. And that's as far as he got. He never saw what some people consider God or, a goddess or anything, any family members coming to greet him. He never saw any of that.
Right.
I don't know.
Now Jill makes a good question, which is, what if it's not another side, but rather all parallel to each other, that we are all existing simultaneously, living dead, whatever form. It's just we are limited
Right.
how we see the form.
To me, that kind of runs in line with the interdimensional type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe when we die, that we could go to another dimension. We are still here,
Right.
but we're somewhere else.
Right. And, honestly, the older I get, I'll put this out. I was raised Christian. Do I believe in God? Yes, I still do. But I also believe in, maybe is it the God that I was raised with? Maybe not. I also believe in pagan, because the earth does give us something. Nobody can deny that crystals will help you. The earth will help you.
Right.
Your thoughts. If you think yourself sick, you will be sick. If you can think yourself better, positive, even cancer patients, if they'll think positive, can get a little better. Will it cure them? I don't know, but they can get better. Yeah, you're a good example of that.
Yeah, what Shaggy just said. He saw caverns of gray and red fire glare. No screaming, just depressed fear and anguish. And Anita, it's either called limbo or purgatory.
So I want to kind of go on with what Adrienne's saying. If you think about getting yourself sick, you're going to make yourself sick. On the top right.
What's going on with you there,
Nick? Me? I don't. It's probably just my shadow, because I got the blue screen right behind me. I don't know.
That has to be it.
What you see there, sweetheart?
This is from a view on Twitch.
Send it to him, please.
Yeah. This is somebody from Twitch, though.
From Twitch. So welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
One of us, honey.
Cream cup, I guess that's how you say it. Yeah, she's asking, how do you send cream cup?
Look us up on Facebook, if you have Facebook.
I can upload it somewhere. You got Facebook? You can send it to any one of us.
Yes, you can either send it to Nick Muley, Adrienne Hart, Jeremy York, or send it to the Things Network page.
Yeah. See that. Thank you.
So
that's a surprise.
It's awesome that we have a viewer from Twitch. That's awesome.
We had someone from YouTube earlier.
Follow us on Twitch, please, because we have a lot of good shows on this channel.
Yeah.
So
Now I gotta show this what Jan said.
Shaggy.
Oh wait, we see what we are made up of the most. We have a soul, which is Enduri. I think that's how you say that. So if I'm a blue Enduri,
That's
yeah,
what
the
she's
blue
trying to
team would
say.
be waiting. If you're white team is waiting. It is everything all at once. And then
Okay.
she also said, "We are what we put into the world. The energy we take
That's
out
right.
of the pot was what is it we fill the pot with. If we put it out."
Okay, something you have to know about her, the people that don't know who she is. She works with energy, and I don't mean like she sees things most of us can't. Some people see auras, great. She actually sees things beyond what we can see. And I wouldn't say this if I didn't know this completely and for sure. She's the one that opened me up to be able to see things.
If I remember right, I remember something about Jan saying that she can put her hand like right over your hand, just like this, and the receiving person can literally feel the energy going back and forth between the two
That's
hands.
how she opened me up. Yes. And
Yeah,
then another person, another friend of ours, continued the teaching.
Now I'm not sure what cream. I don't know if this is a link to like where she took the snapshot or something. I
Let's
don't know. I
try.
don't. Yeah. Well. Okay. See if I can try to.
I've never seen an IBB before.
Yeah, I never see. Oh yeah, it's a link to her image. She said. All right. I'll
Okay,
see if I
that's
can
right.
try to
And
log
we
in.
can put it up here and see if anybody else saw what. Because I'm looking at whoever's talking, so I guess I didn't see it.
Right.
Okay. So I want to kind of go along with what Adrian is saying. You know, when you can will yourself to be sick, you can will yourself to be better, and that's kind of where I come in. So most of you know that I was in a catastrophic accident that almost killed me
Mhm.
back in December,
Half an inch.
and
Half an inch.
yeah, one inch
IVV.pro.
in any direction, I was gone.
Yep.
So so it's only been just a little over 5 months since then, and people are still wondering how am I doing as well as I am, considering the issues that I've had, not just from the accident, but with circumstances that had happened since the accident. And the best answer that I've been able to give everybody is I am stubborn. I am extremely stubborn. I am not the kind of guy to just lay around and just, oh, woe is me. I am not the kind of guy to do that. I am
But
also not the kind of guy who is going to be going to people, saying, I'm sick, and, crap like that. No.
but you have to understand. I don't know how many people knew Jeremy before this, but I don't care how much you know somebody. And as a matter of fact, if you can't read somebody you were that close to. You can't. So there was lots of us, texting saying, seriously, are you okay? What's mentally going on? Are you okay? Because he was so upbeat and just, went through it with no issue. We're like, really, what's going on? There really was never anything going on. And
Right.
we would like text, oh my God, are you okay? Because we were afraid because he was, well, we called him the Adonis. Gorgeous. So the first picture we saw of him, of course, some of us closest to him got to see the first picture. And we were expecting the absolute worst. And then when we see the picture, we're like, wait a minute, you're the same guy we knew. And it was like we expected so much worse. And it wasn't. But we just kept, still texting, are you okay? Are you really okay?
Hey, Robert. Thanks
Hey,
for joining us.
Robert. Good to see you.
Haven't seen you
Robert,
in a while.
hey.
In a long time. Great to have you on.
Do not manifest anything over here.
Yeah,
No, ma'am.
yeah. She said maybe I manifested a visitor, and I tried
Not over
typing
here.
in
No,
that.
ma'am.
Yeah, I tried typing in that link. I couldn't copy it, but I just tried typing in it. It's not letting me get to anywhere.
Okay.
So
I think what we see.
yeah, what Jill said.
What archangel?
The angel of death.
Angel of death. You know, it honestly, I think it's our beliefs and what we think we're going to see. My dad, my adopted dad, was an atheist until he got with my mom, and he went to church for her, just to sit there with her. Now, whether he got anything out of that and actually became a Christian, I don't know. But I think everybody.
I got this, Nick.
Okay, yeah, Cream Cup. We can't click the link, unfortunately. Sorry, Adrienne.
Can you link?
Yeah, she's asking if I can click. I can't click it, unfortunately. I tried to. She's asking how do I send it on Facebook.
Send it to one of us.
We got personal profiles. Cream Cup. She said she sent it on Facebook, and you could find us at our names exactly the way as you're seeing it. Oh, she said she sent it to the Things Network chat.
Oh, okay.
Where did I put my phone?
We get it from there.
Yeah.
Hey, I just gave you my personal Facebook. Nobody else except for us and her on Twitch can see it. But I just sent you the address to my personal Facebook. Just add me as a friend on it and send me a message.
The hell is my? Oh, here it is.
We won't bite you, I promise. We're just weird.
Wait, here it is.
You got it?
Yep.
How you feeling, buddy?
And any luck?
Your stomach better?
Oh, Jeff's on. Hi from the GOAT. Good to see you, Jeff. You're doing well. Good to have you. Good to have you watching us.
Ooh.
Did you get something?
Yeah. I just got chills.
Oh, is it something from my? Is it from my side?
No.
Okay.
Nick, it looks like you have Sumera standing behind you.
What?
Yeah.
Show the picture. I need to see this. I mean, I'm not seeing this as an exciting way. I'm like, wait a second. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Show that to
I've seen
Adrienne.
it.
Show that to Adrienne when she gets back. Oh my God! I'm like, oh my God, that's terrifying. No, Cream Cup, you're not the only one seeing this. Okay, that seriously gives me concern, actually, because now I'm starting to think.
So Nick,
yeah.
So this would be behind your right hand side.
Yeah.
So what is immediately in front of you on the right hand side?
Like right now?
Yes.
All there is just this. It's just creating a shadow right here. That's it.
So you don't have another screen besides what you got on now, and nothing else turned on.
Right here, so I have the ceiling lights are off. Part of the blue screen is right here is how I'm pointing at.
No, I mean on your screen.
Let me try changing back to the original.
No, I'm not talking about that screen. Sorry. I'm talking like on your computer screen, your TV screen, your monitor.
Oh, the TV screen, yeah. Is there
anything else on except for our chat?
Nothing else. Adrienne, you may want to see this.
I can't see it.
I'm sorry about the
report. Send it to me.
There's something behind me.
Send it to me. Joe.
Joe from Australia. Jeez.
Hmm.
And where did I go? It's not anything of where I've gone recently. I know it's not from Mansfield, but
You sure?
I think it's not from Mansfield. I think I might know where it is. Although I think I know whatever this thing is may have came from.
You need to cleanse. You need to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's
Here's
not.
the thing.
It's
Here's
not
the thing.
good.
She would have had to have gotten a screenshot very quick to get this.
Yeah.
Send it to me. Whatever it is, send it here.
I
Trying
hope
to.
it's not who I think it is.
Okay.
So, no, as she's sending it to you, again, if this is like literally a manifestation, I might know exactly who that is. Actually, it might be not. Again, it's not from Mansfield. It may have been a place.
Nothing. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Right.
Wait till I get it. I want to see.
Well, yeah. Afterward, when I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah. Well,
I know
I hope
exactly
not,
what it
Joe.
looks like.
I seriously hope not.
Okay, I just sent it to you, Adrienne.
All right. I don't know about attachment because here's what happened to me one time. I went to Old Park Hotel. I'm sure everybody's heard about Old Park by now. It wasn't that well known back then. It was my first paranormal experience. Hi, Charles.
Hey, good to see you, Charles.
And I had done research for months before I went there. And I knew that killing Jim Miller, if anybody knows about the old Cowboys, killing Jim Miller, they called him the Deacon. And he was there, supposedly, and he got hung in Oklahoma, in Ada, which is where I was from, kind of. I knew his last words. I knew what he wore when he was hung. I knew his wife's name, his kids' names, the last words he said, everything. I did so much research. I didn't know that getting that attached could do something. It can. So I went there. Everybody investigated. 2 a.m, everybody was asleep. So I got woke up by team lead, and he was like, "Come on, let's go investigate, just us." Okay. I went. I kept hearing this whistle beside me. It sounded like a cowboy calling his horse. And they had the spirit box going, and nothing aggravates me more than that spirit box because you can't hear anything over it. So I was like, "Did you hear that?" And they're like, "No, didn't hear anything." Okay, never mind. Maybe I didn't either. So it kept circling me. When we pulled the camera, 7 times that whistle happened.
Wow.
And the person with me never heard it. So a week later, I worked graveyards at that point. I was home about 1 a.m, sitting outside, smoking a cigarette. I heard that whistle. We don't have neighbors. There's nobody close to us. I'm like, okay, somebody lost their horse. Somebody's looking for their horse. They got to be. I went inside. That night, I had a big piece of wood that was on top of my bed. It had a spur, a bottle opener, and a small, tiny little cowboy hat on it. Got it from Lowe's. It'd been on the bed for years. It came off the bed, hit my husband, pierced his ear through to his head.
Jeez.
We had to get rid of some shit that night.
Yeah.
He swore I did it. The hell, I was asleep. How would I? Whatever. But that was my first ever somebody visiting me. He had to leave quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this. I was going to ask Jeremy if he could send me that image too, but we're going to have to wait until he gets back.
Let me see what I see here.
Yeah, please. Jeremy said he got goosebumps looking at this picture.
Okay, before we go that far, I'm going to send it to you.
Sure.
Let's see if it can be explained before we go.
I really hope so. Oh, please. I hope it is.
Wait a minute.
Leave it to happen in the middle of the show for my hearing aid battery to die on me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I just had to go change battery. So I know exactly what that looks like. So
Okay. So I'm looking that little, okay, anybody looking at the screen, the thing on the left of him, that little light there is there. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's part of the picture. That's part of
Yes,
the picture.
that is there. Okay, great. We do see that. Okay, Nick, I'm about to send it to you because that's not what we're seeing.
Right. And there's nothing else blocking other than my microphone. You know, you guys can see my face is, again, white as a ghost. So you can
This
clearly
is
see there's
weird.
nothing blocking at all.
This
I
is
actually
weird.
just put a lamplight on just to make sure, and there's still nothing blocking this.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think it is before you say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know where you've been. I don't know other than, Mansfield. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what's going on here. But this is a female.
Yes, I know it is.
This is a female with long hair.
Oh God, jeez,
She is.
That's not part of my picture.
No, I know it's not. She's not trying to hurt anybody. She's scared.
Okay.
She's scared. She wants somebody to help her. She's scared. That's all. She's scared. If you can, go ahead and put that picture up
Yeah,
here.
I'm about to. Hank, I'm just
No,
about to
it's
get
not
into-
Lucy, Jill.
No, it's not. No, it's. I'm about to go on my Facebook so I can share it. So give me 1 second here.
Anybody who has abilities, please chime in.
This thing is. I mean, regardless, even if it's not threatening, it's still a creepy image.
You know
She's
what it
scared.
looks like to me? It looks like Sumera.
Yeah, the girl from The Ring.
I don't know who that is, but
It's
this
the
girl's
movie
scared.
from the
Have
Ring.
you ever watched The Ring?
Mm-mm.
She has. It's like first off one of the scariest movies ever, and it's
This
the
baby's
girl-
scared.
Yeah, it's the one with the. It has the
Yeah.
girl. It has a similar figure. It's like a young girl wearing this like long white
So-
dress. She's wet. And she's got black hair covering her face most of
She's
the
in
time.
her 20s. She's blonde, and she's
Blonde.
scared.
Okay, hang on. I'm
Blonde.
about to
So-
share it now.
So Cream Cup, I responded to your message and I even sent you a friend request.
All right, can you guys see it now? Look
Yep.
right over here for the viewers.
Blow it up. Can you blow it up?
I just zoomed in. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit more.
Nick, how many tabs do you have open?
I got a lot of stuff I'm trying to go over with research. It's fine. But yeah, here we go.
There you go. There you go. If you can just zoom in on this on the phone, it's amazing. Honestly. I don't
What
know
the
how
hell?
many of y'all can see this. Probably not.
Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. That is just unbelievable. I mean, it's creepy regardless.
Jeff,
but-
you want me to send it to you?
Wow.
It's unreal. She's scared. She means no harm. She's scared.
See, I was thinking of something else otherwise because we did deal with a negative entity before that looked just like her, and I
Oh.
literally thought for a second it was her. But now that you said
No.
that, though, it sounds like this is somebody else. I
Okay,
know it's.
this is the second week this has happened now. I
Jeff,
am
I sent it to
I am
you.
thinking that this is on my personal profile, but I just seen some comments on the stream that is on my personal profile that are not making it on the stream live.
Okay, so she's not the only one that took some pictures. I'm about to send you two more
Two more,
that
okay.
are even more clear.
And this was all through Cream Cup.
I don't know if she wants me to tell who sent them, but if she does, I will. These are not. Something's wrong. She's scared. She's asking for help. She's scared.
Okay, go ahead and send them.
That looks like the same. Oh no, that's the same one.
It's not the same one.
Wait, hold on. I'm looking on my phone first. Yeah, she does become a lot more. She's starting to appear almost more smoky in
Yeah.
appearance. So give me 1 second. Let me stop the
This
screen
little
quickly.
girl's scared.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Needs to get to. I got to go back on Facebook because I sure as hell don't want to open any more tabs. Jeremy, I'll explain about that later.
Christine, have you been anywhere that Christy or Christine rings a bell?
I'm going to share the screen once again. And yeah, she appears somewhat clearer, but still has that rather foggy looking appearance.
Sorry, Jim. I didn't mean to send that to you.
You know, it looks almost like she's moving now. Like you can kind of see her still standing. It's like she's moving, like how sometimes people take a photograph and they kind of have like that strange movement to them, like almost like as if they're between a frame. If you know what I mean.
She appeared when we were talking about abilities. We were talking about the other world. We were talking about how people see the other world and what they think the other world is made of. She's scared. She doesn't mean to hurt anyone.
Now let me see what
saying, someone help me.
Let me see what the third picture was. Oh, what? Well, it looks kind of the same as the first, but
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like it's the same picture. It's the same address.
It looks like her dress, upon looking at it now, clearly appears like it looks like it's from the late 19th. It's like 19th century clothing.
Or what is that behind it?
Wait, like right here?
Right there, yeah. What is that?
What the hell is that?
Can you zoom in on that spot right there?
Damn it! I hate how see they always say you could zoom in, but you really can't. So I may have to. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the picture, and
have you been anywhere where there's a female that you know of?
From what I know of, I mean, like recently.
Yeah.
Not that I know of, but like I said, I know we were at a house that did have something 2 years ago.
Okay.
It still looks a lot like Sumera to me. It really does.
All right, so bear with me.
That, Jeremy?
Sumera is the girl from the ring.
Yeah, it's the girl from the ring.
She's the one who pops up out of the well, and when you see her, her hair is all the way in front, covering her face.
That's what I was explaining.
Like that picture.
Okay, hang on 1 second. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a comparison to that. So, but let's look at the picture first.
I think I know who it is, guys.
All right, give me 1 second here, guys.
We'll discuss this later. I'm not putting this out here in public.
Right. Okay. Now let me see if I could share the screen once again. Hopefully this will work. Now, can you guys see the picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I could zoom in. Yeah, I still cannot tell what that is right behind her. I don't know if that's like
her hair. That's all it is. Her hair.
That's all her hair, because Jeremy was pointing out that there was something else behind her.
That's her hair.
Okay.
Well, from being zoomed out, it almost looked like there was somebody behind her. But as you zoom in, it doesn't look like the case.
See, I honestly thought it was some kind of shadow that she was casting. Wait a minute, guys. You know, I just noticed something. You could actually see a little bit of her face. Like, you could see, like, a mouth, like part of the mouth, and, like, this is what I assume one of her eyes. It looks, you can kind of see her face just barely, though, but you got to zoom in to see it.
Okay.
Well, be careful now, because when you zoom in, that's when you start getting the pixelation.
Right.
Well, I'm not, that's why I stopped zooming in. This was as close as I was going to get.
The lady that sent this, thank you. Thank you. You were here for a reason. You did this for a reason. If you want to know the reason, we'll tell you later, but thank you. You did something really good.
Now I do want to point out, while everybody is here, like Jill, Jan, and a guy named Brad, they had commented on the show on my personal page, but for whatever reason, it is not showing up on StreamYard, so none of us can see your comments if you're making a comment on my personal profile page. I don't know why that is. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. So I am going to have to stop streaming our shows to my personal profile because for whatever reason the comments are not coming to StreamYard. I don't know.
It's happened to me on my profile. On whenever I do my show on Wednesdays, like when I
Yeah.
do my show, I literally
Has it been
I
like
know there's
that the
more.
entire time, or has it just started doing that?
It's been happening like the entire time. So, and I just don't know how you could fix that. So that's why whenever I do my show, you see me go back and forth between what's on the chat box right here and then going on my profile to see the comments. Um, I'm not why StreamYard does it. I have no idea. And I think Jacqueline also had said a similar issue. No, Jacqueline and Holly have said the same thing for their shows too. That they can't get all the comments for some reason. They can see how many people are watching regardless of whatever platform they're watching on, but they can't. For some reason, they just can't get all the comments.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Oh wait, Brad's saying, saying, can you see us?
I can see you now, Brad.
Yeah.
So you must have switched over to one of the other pages. I don't know why StreamYard's doing it that way. So I think I'm going to have to stop streaming the show to my personal page just for that because I don't want anybody. Because I just noticed that last week when I went down my profile and I seen, oh my, there were several people commenting on there, and I did not see it. None of it ever showed up. So I think starting next week, I'm going to stop streaming the show to my page because I don't want anybody to feel like they're being ignored.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, Brad was saying about the picture. Looks like a mist behind that girl. Nick, or have any idea where it came from though? I know Adrienne didn't really want to know too many details, but I think from where it probably came from, it was actually from a house in Ohio. So
we're gonna discuss it after the show.
that's all I'm gonna say. It was from a house in Ohio. We didn't go in it. We just happened to be nearby it. I knew knowledge of it. We couldn't go in anyway because it was a private residence. But I knew what that house was.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. I really wish I could say more, but I can't say anything right now at this time.
Well, this show has definitely been interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's and kind of a little chilling too.
Because Jill had made the comment that this was the best live.
That's what I saw from.
We did not mean to do this. I promise you.
Yeah,
No,
I
we did
swear
not.
to God. Yeah, Jill, I tried changing the background.
Send me your friend request. Huh?
Yeah. So we
Jill,
we initially
you're talking to me.
Oh wait.
Jill, who are you asking to change the background?
Oh, she's asking me to see if it appears again or it's drawn to the backdrop.
Okay. But there wasn't a backdrop at the time.
Well, and my photo's been like that. I've been changing the blue screen for quite a few times now, so I don't think it would really matter whatever it is that I change it to. I'm not saying I'm right. I just have no clue.
Yeah. Well, she's going to, if it's who I think it is, she's going to go between the three of us to see who can help her. She's scared. She's done. She doesn't want to be here. She is done. And somebody's holding her here. It's time to go.
Yeah, it's Brad. It definitely is.
Brad, it followed you without even going in the house, huh?
That's the only detail I just said. I didn't want to say too much.
Oh, okay. I have a pretty good idea. We'll talk about this after the show, just in case I'm wrong.
After the Bobby Mackey, but Bobby Mackey's was a long time ago.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This was whatever I think this
No.
was, this only occurred only
Yeah.
2 years ago, so this was very recent still.
This is somebody we have dealt with in the last 2 years and dealt with up until about 2 months ago.
Adrienne, did you see my response?
No.
Look at it.
Oh, which response was it? Oh, it's not in the chat.
Well, I sent it to her while she was out.
Yep. It's exactly who it is. And we got to let her cross. We have to. She's hung on for too long. She's done.
Yeah.
She's trying to get help. We got to let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
Yep.
you're right.
So
I feel like we can help, and we will. We can and we will.
Yeah,
despite other people not wanting to help, so
exactly.
But long
No,
story
thank you.
behind that,
Thank you.
although the ones who are in the know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'll be so glad that she can let go.
I really hope so.
This has gone on too long, and we've all known she needs to let go, and she can't. Now it's time.
Mhm.
It's I could say basically for her, it's been 100 years, over 100 years since her death. That's all. It's been way too long.
That's not.
It's not. Oh,
No.
it's not her.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, then I'm thinking of someone else because, like I said, that was the visit that we had 2
Yeah.
years ago.
That's Adrienne had a feeling who it was, and somehow I kind of knew who she was going to name, and I was like, so I sent it to her. Apparently, it's who she's thinking.
It is. I knew it as soon as I saw her.
Good night, Jeff.
You know,
Go. Thank
No.
you. Love you.
Joe from Australia said, I believe everything happens for a reason. This spirit feels you can help her. She's been waiting a while to be able to feel like the right person can help her.
She has, and she's hung on for a reason. That reason is now gone, and it's time.
It was after the Bobby Mackey. Well, again, that was just a photo I was using. Again, I was there 10 years ago.
yeah,
It's not that, but
It's not that at all.
yeah. Bobby Mackey's has nothing to do with that. Although I will admit, I did think about that one.
Yeah.
I did think about that one.
all of us talking about the afterlife, what we thought was there, even Bobby Mackey's, all of that, she realized somebody can understand.
Mhm.
And we've all got a connection to this person. So she knows we can understand. And she was hoping somebody would recognize who she was.
Right. Now think about it with this show. Yes, it is supernatural talk, and we were talking about country music. But if you look at it in a 6 degrees of bacon way,
Yeah.
talking about Rodney Carrington eventually led us to Bobby Mackey, then eventually led us to back to being on paranormal topic. It's all a big cycle.
Yeah.
So this girl that actually took the screenshot, I don't know her real name.
Yeah. Cream Cup, are you still on?
I do. I have sent her a friend request on Facebook. She messaged. Hold on. Oh, she messaged the Things Network chat, and she also messaged me personally.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'm hoping that she's followed us on Twitch.
Yeah. I'm hoping she can. If you friend me, that's great. I'll let you know. But I'm hoping somebody will let her know what really happened, so she knows what she really did. Because if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have happened. She was involved in this for some reason.
Everybody walks into people's lives when they need to.
Mm-hmm.
It must have really had something to do with what we were talking about, in terms of the afterlife.
Yeah.
You can't find who, Jeff? Me?
Oh, she's talking. I think he's talking about create. Can you review on your own live stream recording later to try to debunk or investigate your image and update us, please?
Actually, we
Absolutely.
can.
Yeah,
Yes.
we might be able to.
We can actually go back and do a timestamp.
Mhm.
Let me go back here while I still have it.
And Jill,
Uh,
thank you. Thank you for saying that and
Yeah.
actually being able to call that out. That's awesome.
It was all our spirit talks here.
let's see. I can find out what time. Here it is. So at 9:42. So at 1 hour and 42 minutes, that's when she made that first comment. So I am going to guess that probably at 1 hour and 40 minutes is when we start looking at the show and see if we can notice it.
Yes.
um, and and anybody else out there can do the same thing. Once we go off of live, you can go back into our videos of of the network page, and you can also go to the YouTube page and also on Twitch and Twitter, and just fast forward to 1 hour and 40 minutes and just watch from there. The comment was made at 1 hour 42, so that gives you that little bit of a buffer, and you can check that out.
Brad was asking, how do you guys keep things from following you home usually?
You know, I'll answer this first. I was always the arrogant, stupid one that said, you know what? It don't happen to me. My faith is too strong. It doesn't happen to me. Okay, yes, I realize now that is a wrong answer. Nothing has ever really followed me home. It's come to visit, but that's about it. Um, one of my best friends taught me you do everything with love. Um, most of it, all three of us here are the same way.
Excuse me.
I think that's why this person showed up, knowing if anybody can help, we can. I hope we can. Um, would she say cleansings?
Yeah, cleansings.
I've never had to do a cleansing. I have never had to sage myself before I left a location. I have never had to sage before I got in the car.
Thanks, Jill.
And that was arrogance. Now, I'll admit it. That was complete arrogance, thinking nothing's going to follow me home. It hasn't, thank God, but that's not saying it won't.
Okay, now I just want to kind of interject on this. Nick, didn't this just happen to you yesterday that you sneezed and a whole bunch of people did a bless you thing on you?
Yeah, they all did. That's the
Yeah.
second time in a row that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
thanks,
days in a row
Jill.
that's happened now. I just wanted to point that out.
You know what? I'm almost afraid to wonder if that's going to happen tomorrow night for 13th Dimension.
Okay,
Well-
Joe said, look at that. Joe said,
Oh,
tell
yeah.
them they're not allowed to follow you home. Okay.
Yeah, that is actually something that Eileen has brought up before. Something that she does when she leaves, when she's leaving an investigation, she would just before she walks out the door, she would turn around and say, "Thank you for letting us be here, for visiting you." And she will
Right.
also say, "You are not allowed to follow us. You stay here."
Right. Okay. I have two sides on this. Okay. I've been thinking about this. Okay, you got Annabelle. Let's use her for an example. She's in a glass case, plexiglass, but glass case. Okay. Great. How does spirits can go through brick? How does plexiglass stop them? Intention. It's all about intention. If you turn around and tell them, you're not allowed to follow me home, it's intention. You believe that. It's intention. Now, if a spirit wants to cross that plexiglass, yeah, it's going to. If it wants to cross that brick wall, it's going to. Mm-hmm. But your intention makes more of an impact than anything else can.
Now, I do want to say the whole thing about the plexiglass thing for anybody who has watched 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
The glass house, the ghosts are not able to cross those glass. Granted, it is a movie. I realize that. But it is an interesting concept that the etched into the glass are Latin phrases that prevent them from being able to cross the glass. Does something like that work in real life? I don't know.
That kind of like coincides with the belief that spirits cannot cross running water. Because we've heard of that story too.
You know, that's strange because spirits, I believe, and I've heard that spirits actually thrive off of running water. It's nature, it's energy, it's, you know, closer to water, you get more activity. I don't know that that's true, but, you know, who knows what's really true. But you will catch more activity near water.
Yeah.
Or anything else.
Oh, we did when, because we went to Alton, Illinois 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, for another Paracon, and it was at the Mineral Springs Hotel. And this is actually a story author Mike Ricksecker has told about several times because we were part of what happened. But that later that evening, we had this tremendous storm that came through, and the Mineral Springs Hotel, you know, it's literally right next to the Mississippi River. Mm-hmm. But we had this huge storm that came in. We actually did have a tornado, believe it or not, for that area, which fortunately didn't hit us. But after the storm which moved over past the border into Missouri, there was these incredible lightning like bolts that we were seeing, and the activity that we had later that night, it was unbelievable. It was unlike anything I've ever seen, because you had the Mississippi River right next to you that kind of generated partial energy, and then you had this storm along with a lot of the, you know, humidity and the rain circulation and the light and the lightning itself. And that's how we ended up seeing a apparition of a little girl like head on up in one of the hallways, and that's documented now because it's actually featured in a book now that Mike wrote. So that's like a primary example that water sometimes does play a role with some of the activity.
Yeah. And that's something I'm doing now is I have a barometer. So when I go into a location, whether it's, you know, residential or whatever, I do the readings, the pressure, the temperature. Now, if I'm going to learn something from it, I don't know, but it's worth a try. But like Joe said, intention. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know who else believes it. That's fine. I do now. Because if somebody decides they're going to do something to you, whether it's voodoo, hoodoo, bullshit, I don't know. But intention, you send it back. Return to sender, right. Whatever it is, send it back. That's your intention. Doesn't matter if you do anything about it, just intention. I'm going to tell you what, it works. Because I had my shoulder completely, I couldn't lift it. I could not lift it. I couldn't put my hair in a ponytail, I couldn't wash my hair. And it happened overnight. I did nothing to it besides sleep on it. Okay, that happens. I'll let that go. Then there was my foot. It swelled for absolutely no reason. I couldn't walk on it. I didn't.
Jeez.
Now, if your foot is swollen as mine was, you broke it. You know when you broke your damn foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's painful.
I didn't. This happened for 2 weeks. We did a return to sender, gone. The next day, gone. Nothing. It's gone. I have no more issues. Shoulder or foot. Intention. I don't know. Intention. It works.
So
Thank
one
you.
one thing to learn from this, boys and girls, karma is a bitch.
Yeah, it really is. You're telling me.
It is.
Yeah.
We don't need to help. We really don't need to help karma. But return to sender doesn't hurt. We really don't. I think Joe knows what I'm talking about with her. I know what she said. Shower because of the water. Yeah, absolutely, Jill. The water. It's cleansing.
You will find almost nothing stronger than water, especially if there's a whole lot of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Most of us are
drawn to ocean.
Joe, intention, vibrational energy, the most powerful protection immediately available to yourself permanently.
Absolutely.
Joe, I did try the spiritual fasting for a week when I had a bad dream of a demon or witch attack me, just in case. Better safe than sorry. Exactly. Jan's now officially on her official profile. Intention is the purest form energy. It's the truth. Yeah.
You actually have to, and I honestly think I wish you would, but I haven't had her agree to it yet. This girl is much younger than me. Her wisdom is much, much beyond her years, beyond any of our years. If you don't actually get to know her intimately and talk to her, you wouldn't know that. But she has wisdom of somebody 200 years old. It's from her great grandparents. It's from her grandparents. It's not from her parents, but her grandma has taught her so much. And I get the pleasure of talking to her grandma once in a while, and her son. Some of you know I had an autistic child here a couple of weeks ago. He left last week. The only thing that helped me through that was her son. He was pretty low on the spectrum, because if you were to speak to him, you wouldn't know. Like Nick, you'd never know.
Right.
This little boy that I had, you'd know. He had a speech impediment. He constantly craved attention. He was self-harming. There was lots of things. But her son was right here with me the whole time. When I would go to say something, he was like right here, saying, "That's not what you say. This is what you say." And he walked me through the whole process. This isn't the first time he's been around me, but this is the first time he's actually helped. And now he's on to someone else to help. He's a good boy. His name's Pat. I never knew him, but I know him now. He's amazing. If you ever hear Jan say, "I knew my child would commit suicide from the day he was born," she did. She went through counseling her whole life for this child, because his diagnosis, that's what they do. She knew. Can you ever be ready? No, you can't. But she knew. And now he's all of our kind of guardian. He's an amazing little boy.
Yeah, and I can actually back Adrienne up, because I had also last year gotten to know Jan very well. And Adrienne is not exaggerating. I can tell you that from my own personal experiences.
I don't call him that, but okay.
Yeah, and um, Jan and I had actually lost touch um, some time ago, and we just recently got reconnected.
Well, she's also reconnected with a lot of us too. So
Yeah.
I couldn't ask. I have two wonderful best friends. I couldn't ask for better friends. Um, Jan is one of my. I'm not going to name the other one because she's not here. But this little boy, Jan's grandma first came to me at the temple. I didn't know who she was. I had no idea, but I could smell. And I said, I smell these flowers. I was describing it, and she said, it's my grandma. Like, what? No. I didn't think anything else about it. We got home. We were on the back porch, and I said, I'm told to tell you this. I didn't remember what it was. She was like, it's my grandma. That woman has really not left my side. She, if there's something to say to her, she'll be right there. That woman's amazing. Oh, hey, you're not late to the game. You're good. You watch it. It was interesting.
yeah, very interesting.
That is.
Oh, it's Terry.
Yep.
Yeah. I knew it was either Terry or
Yes.
Or Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a message from Terry. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I did get a message from her.
Terry's
Yeah, this has been quite the show.
Yeah.
We went in several different directions.
This conversation really went all different directions. Yeah.
and it's good. You know, I don't think it hurts for people to know who we really are.
Yeah.
Past experiences, the truth. I don't care if anybody knows who I am.
Or songs that we like.
And then you say
Country
y'all.
songs.
Okay, yeah. I say y'all all the time, along with a few other redneck phrases.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, hold my beer, watch
We
your
just
shit.
don't say that in Chicago. I'm sorry. You'll be excited, maybe, Jeremy.
No,
It's a show coming your way.
shit.
You all have room on the schedule.
Be excited, maybe
That sounds interesting.
Show coming your way if you have the room. Which one, Terry?
Wait, is it? I think I might know what it is, but I'm not going to say it though.
I'll forward it to you. Okay, that's fine.
I wonder if it's a show that I've actually been trying to reach out to. I'm not 100% sure. It might be, but I could be
you
wrong.
don't turn that light off your face, we can't see you.
I can't help it. I'm in front of the
You
television
look
screen.
like a ghost. Stop it.
Well, at least now, because of the microphone, you can tell that Nick actually has a mouth.
Okay, said no, y'all don't know this one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Never mind then. I was thinking of something else.
We'll talk about that one.
So things that we have learned on the show, there's a whole bunch of country songs. What happened?
Judas.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So
long story short, I had a near catastrophic accident at work. Something came up and hit me in the face, and it damaged the nerves in my eyes. So now I have double vision really, really bad. It's still very, very clear vision, but it's double vision. So I wear the eye patch so that I can be able to keep my balance.
Yeah, you and Jan.
And that too, yes, yeah. Jan. I couldn't see myself going to work for several months.
You know,
she is absolutely right on that one.
Now,
so I still have my eye. I can still see out of this eye. I just cover it up so that I can be able to keep my balance when I'm walking or doing whatever. Because otherwise, I'm going to lose my balance and I am going to look like the town drunk walking out of the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, now Terry's speaking from her own personal profile. Lost my damn sound. Oh, it was
Terry is always having technological issues.
like that's not a surprise. We always
She
have technical
always
issues.
has technological issues.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
so things that we have learned on this show is one, intention. Yes, absolutely right on that one. Especially if you're going into a location, it is your intention. If you're going into a location and you're going to act like a jackass, well, guess what? You're going to get ghost blocked.
yeah.
That's a new term that I came up with. I love it. And
I
I'm
love
gonna
it too
say it
already.
every time. You're
It's the
getting
first
ghost
time I've
blocked.
heard it.
Yes. Another thing is, like what Adrienne was saying earlier, you can will yourself to death. You can will yourself to be sick. You can will yourself. I thought I did coin that,
Yeah,
Jan.
coined that.
You
I
can
thought
will
he did
yourself to
too.
get better. So that's the thing about me. Yes, I could probably still be, oh, woe is me, laying in bed, this, that, and the other. No, I am stubborn. I do not like having to depend on people. So I very stubbornly just get up and did stuff. It was rough in the beginning. It was very rough. I am going to admit that. It was very hard to get up, but I knew I wanted to do stuff for myself, so I did. Um, so I am faring along a lot better than I really should be. Um, and I will say that I am going to have surgery here in a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, probably 3 months. And it's going to take a lot out of me then. Um, but I will still be the same stubborn guy then as I am now. And let's see, what else have we learned? We learned a lot about country music
I was
today.
about to say the country music.
Yes, we learned that Shamira likes to visit Nick.
I was going to show something else about that before we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to share the screen one more time, but I'll wait until after you're done.
Okay. Hello, Annette.
Hey, good to see you, Nat.
Uh, Annette, you've actually reached us long after this show should have been over. Truth be told, this show should have been over 40 minutes, but we don't have anybody on behind us, so we're
Got
good.
extended time. So it's not like we're in a rush.
Right. So what do you got to show us?
Okay, so I wanted to compare because I told you I was going to compare the photos. The photo,
Okay, yeah.
one of the photos that were taken with the character of Samara from The Ring. So I was actually
All
hoping
right.
Adrienne was going to be there to see that. Can you see this?
Yeah, see,
That looks just like her.
it does. It really does.
The only thing that looks a little bit different compared to the one from the movie is that, like I said, she looks foggier. She has what looks more like an early, again, like an older style dress from like the early 19th, like late 19th, early 20th century. And
Go ahead and ask Annette.
yeah, um, and she's got a lot more, and she looks more a little bit, not necessarily hunched, but kind of a little bit hunched over though than the movie character.
Well, now here's another thing to think about. People is Brad is talking about the sleeves are looking different. Now, keep in mind there are multiple movies of The Ring, so not everything is going to be exact.
Exactly.
Also,
Yes.
the character of Samura was also parodied in the film series Scary Movie.
Yes, I
So
remember.
that will also there will also be a slight difference in that too.
Right. You're
So
not going to
keep
make it
that in
entirely the
mind.
same. You're not going to make that the same entirely.
Right. So
The one
even though
thing that
The Ring has 3 movies,
yeah, there's 3 of them.
okay, so Samira is not going to look exactly the same on all three of them,
Right.
nor is she going to look exactly the same as she did on Scary Movie.
Right. And then, of course,
Whichever-
obviously,
Scary
adding to
Movie
that,
3, I think it
well,
was.
well, then also adding to that, she's not going to look the same either. In the original Japanese movies, which in the Japanese in Ringu, they call her Sadako.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 movies then. I wasn't even thinking about the Japanese one
Yeah,
because The Ring originated in Japan.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, Annette, what's your question?
I can't
And I
see
don't
the
know who
questions while I'm
Facebook
sharing.
user is, but my question's about me living in a recovered funeral home. You're welcome to message me. Not sure what your question is. My brother used to be a very nice. Oh,
Used to be a very nice kid until we moved there. Okay, so
feel free to
there,
message
there-
me.
yeah, there can be different ways of looking at that. There could be something in the environment, or maybe even something happening in the home. It doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal related, but at the same time, it can be. Sometimes things in the environment will affect people to where it changes their attitude.
I'm
And
sorry,
that was
honey.
the first time he
Awful.
tried to kill me. Okay, so
Oh my God,
That's awful.
that's
that's horrific.
on the extreme. Yes.
I need a little more background before I can, even try to.
Yeah, for something like that, absolutely.
My
He
mom
said he was walking in his sleep, but he never walked in sleep after we moved.
That could, I can't say that's exactly paranormal. I know some people, some boys especially, when they go through puberty, do that. There's lots
Yeah.
of hormones. There's lots of all kinds of stuff going on. So, it could be that my son did that. But when the timelines match up, that's a whole different story.
Stayed home, stayed in her home with me.
Got stayed at home. What?
I'm not sure by that response.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Well, while we're waiting for whoever this is, oh wait, oh that was sort of walking
Okay.
with puberty
See,
kicked in.
Terry. Yes.
Sleepwalking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone that came into our house had bad attitudes.
Okay, so to explain that one in a non-paranormal way, there could be something with the house. There could be a lot of bad wiring that's putting out a whole lot of EMF, or there could be something going on where there's a lot of gas being released that nobody is detecting, and that can really affect people. Right?
Yeah,
That's why when we go into any kind of residential, the first thing we do is EMF baseline and then EMF later to see if it's the same. I have actually saved somebody from a house fire with the EMF reader.
Oh, tried to commit suicide by stabbing myself. I was only 7. I don't know why. Oh my goodness.
We need to have a talk
Okay,
there.
who are you?
But we need to have a talk.
Who is this?
Yeah, who are you?
I don't know. We need to have a talk.
Yeah.
You need to talk to one of us.
Lots of death and through there, possibly good old-fashioned cleansing.
Speaking of death, unfortunately, there's been a lot of deaths this week.
Oh my God, yes, there has.
So,
including, obviously,
a couple days ago, we had that, the school shooting down there in Texas. Last I heard, there were 22 dead.
Yes. 19 children and 2 adults.
21. 19 students, 2 adults.
2
It's
adults.
only 20.
And also, the husband of one of the school teachers died today.
What?
Really? Oh my God.
What happened? What happened to him?
I read it. It's already all over the internet. He had a heart attack. He was okay.
Oh, he'll contact you on Messenger.
He was getting prepared for his wife's funeral. Something about that. I think he had just come home, sat down in a chair, and then that was it. He just had a massive heart attack.
He didn't have to go through all the crap.
He basically, I'm not
So,
trying to sound like
me
I'm
personally, I am attributing his death to the shooter. Even
right.
though it was indirect, it most likely
Yeah.
would not have happened had the shooting not occurred.
See, I'm not trying to sound like I'm saying this out of a story. Perhaps, as they always say, he probably died of a broken heart because there is actually something out
It,
there called broken
yes,
heart syndrome.
it's
Yeah, Jan just
very
said
well.
that.
Oh, four
Real.
children left behind.
Four children.
That is going to be hard on them. I
They're
cannot
now
imagine
officially,
losing both parents within 48 hours of each other.
those kids are orphans now.
If
Well,
anybody,
maybe not because the wife was 48.
Okay.
So chances are the youngest one is probably in high school,
Okay. Oh, I
depending
didn't.
on when they started having children.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely broken heart.
Does that make it any easier? Absolutely not.
No, it's not. And it's like, oh man. I mean, I'm not the first to say. I'm just like, again, I don't mean to go into this conversation. I'm just tired of seeing these things happen. I mean, it's just I think we all are.
Well,
And I just had remember I told you guys about my friend Nikki, the one who went to Mansfield with us last year. She just had a baby just like 2-3 days ago. And it's like I can't help but there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that she and her boyfriend are already probably constantly living in fear of what's going to happen to their child when she eventually grows up to learn how to walk, talk, and eventually go to school.
yeah, because that's the thing. When I was growing up in elementary school, we never had that kind of fear.
Nope, neither did us.
Now, here's the thing. I saw on Facebook last night somebody had posted a huge list of all these high schools, elementary schools, and universities, and I looked into that. That was all the school shootings since the school shooting before Columbine. There was
Right.
another school shooting about a month before Columbine, and then they had this listed all in chronological order, and there was like 200 of them.
Oh my God. You
But
see,
here's the thing: on all of these, they either had zero deaths or no more than two deaths.
the rest were probably just injuries then, right?
Yeah, the majority of them were very minimal. Now there were the ones, like Columbine and then Shady Hook, and now this one here. And
Sandy Hook.
I started doing some more research, and there have been school shootings pretty much every decade for the last. I think the first decade that I noticed was in the 1850s.
The one I found that was the earliest that was considered like the first school shooting actually happened almost 100 years ago. But I think it was up in Michigan in 1927.
Okay, the one that I was able to find was like 1853.
Okay. I didn't
18.
hear of that. I
Yeah.
didn't hear of that one. I just knew about the first I found was from 1927.
Look it up on Wikipedia's list of school shootings before 2000.
See,
Okay.
that's me growing up.
It's just amazing.
Let's also look at this way. Sandy Hook, the one before Sandy Hook,
Columbine? Oh, Virginia Tech.
Columbine.
Columbine, yeah.
Oh, Columbine,
If
yes.
you will look at the conspiracy theories or, just any of the footage, what's really sad.
Good night, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Thanks, hon.
You stay safe out there, too.
If you will look, 3 of the people that you will see in the Columbine and see in the Sandy Hook, which there was years apart,
Right.
you'll see the same 3 people in that video that has went viral. They were more grown up.
3 people.
It's
Oh, wait, I think I know who you're
The
talking
girl
about.
crying.
Yeah.
There's a girl and 2 boys, and they are the exact same people. One is running out, 2 are sitting on the curb, and where in the other one they were running out of the building. Same
Oh my God.
people.
The one
Now,
that I noticed was the girl crying. Um, I don't know about the boys.
right.
So, Jeremy, I looked it up on Wikipedia. Actually, you're going to be a little bit surprised. I found one even earlier because you said you found one from 1853.
I
Is
think it
that
was about
okay?
1853.
So that one was from Louisville, Kentucky. There was only one student that was. It was only one student that died. Student Matthews Floney Ward shot the schoolmaster. Excuse me, not a student. William H.G. Butler's revenge for what Ward thought was excessive punishment of his brother the day before Butler died, and Ward was actually acquitted. That's kind of shocking. But here, I actually found one even earlier. This is probably the earliest one I was able to find. This was from November 12th of 1840 in Charlottesville, Virginia. John Anthony Gardner Davis, a law professor at the University of Virginia, was shot by Joseph Seams and died 3 days later.
Okay, so school shootings have been happening since 1840.
Yeah,
Um, Now, back then, they wouldn't happen nearly as frequently as they are now, but that's beside the point. Um, Back then, there weren't as many guns readily available, but at the same time, they did not necessarily have the gun safety
right.
that we supposedly do right now.
Yeah.
Um, because back then, young children were going to war and they did have access to guns.
Yeah.
Especially during the Civil War, because
It,
like a lot of those people
particularly the
that
Civil
fought
War,
a
yes.
lot of people that fought in it were unfortunately mostly everybody always thinks that they were always grown men, and yes, while it was true that there were some adults in their 20s and 30s, for the most part they were mostly teenagers, some even
Hmm.
preteens.
Yeah. And now it has gotten to the point where just about anybody and everybody can get a gun. Um,
Yeah.
but this is the part where we can actually get political with this, but I don't really want to go down
Right.
that avenue
No.
because everybody's going to have an opinion on it, and it's all going to be different.
And
Yep.
everybody's opinion is
But the
valid.
point
I'm not to
is,
say it's not.
yes, yes. But the point is, we need to figure out a way how to, one, truly figure out should this person have a gun.
Yeah.
This one here got two semi-automatics, I think it was, within 3 days of his 18th birthday. That's a problem.
Very
Tell
definitely.
me this.
I also read, I don't know if it's true, but they did not do a background check on him, or that
Right.
his background check was very, very lax.
Right. Eileen and I got in trouble. We got banned for telling you we're going to punch you or kick your ass. We got banned within seconds of saying that. Tell me
Yeah.
how this shithead did not get in trouble for saying, oh, wait, I'm going to shoot my grandmother. I shot my grandmother. I'm going to shoot an elementary school.
Yeah.
All within an hour. That's an hour that they could do this. They didn't.
They did.
How
And
did they get us, but not him?
Well,
I'll tell you how.
it's on his, it's either his Instagram or his TikTok.
It was his
He
Instagram.
has in his profile,
2 automatic
beware
rifles.
kids or something like that.
Yeah.
Kids need to beware.
And I got
You
to
see
point this
something
out.
like that. How
Yeah.
do you not be concerned?
That's like a red flag.
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't understand that either. And I got to point this out for what Terry said. Most of these kids are bullied and they become the ultimate bully. I actually did my research. I did my research actually, and unfortunately, yes, he had some type. I think he did have some type of disability. He had a lisp or something, and
Yeah.
he was bullied. He was bullied in school, and again, I know this is going to sound crazy. Like if people are, kind of giving you a bit of trouble and you somehow get a gun, again, it's like, again, I know I'm crazy for saying this, but okay, in some of these cases, maybe in a fit of rage, they go out and shoot the bullies that tormented them. Not sure why you go after those that didn't do any, that didn't do anything to you, but kind of left you alone or anyway. But I sure know, however, though, he didn't have to go out and go to an elementary school, because first, those kids didn't know who he was, and most importantly, there is no indication or evidence that they had done anything to him ever.
They had.
That's what's most important. Exactly.
His grandma used to work there. But let's also go back to reality. I'm old. I'm going back to old fashioned. I know you can't see it now because my hair's dyed. I used to have a blonde streak right here. It's still there. It's gray, but it was there. Thank you. In school, I was called skunk. Okay, so what? Did I go shoot anybody? No. Did I want to whoop somebody's ass? Of course I did. That don't mean I did it. That boy had a lisp. Okay. I had this scar the whole time I was growing up. I used to, when people would ask me about it, I'd say, you know what? It was a knife fight. You ought to see the other person. I never told them what it really was.
Right.
It's how you're raised. It is not the person.
Exactly. Yeah.
If that person has an issue, somebody needs to help them. Somebody needs to see it long before then. That's a problem. That's a community problem. And I don't know how many times Jen has said this, and she's absolutely right. It takes a village to raise a child, and it does. Because one or two parents can't see everything a child's doing, but a community can.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad just says also a lack of accountability from the families that raise them.
And with this kid, there were so many factors that went into it. Did he grow up with a terrible childhood? He probably did.
He did. His mother was.
Yeah, his mom. Yeah, his mom was a drug addict. Yes, okay, and then his father had left him.
Case in point, right there, already you got two strikes against you. Also, at the same time, with that, he probably already had something going on in his head as well. Now, would that have been triggered by what was going on with his parents? Absolutely. Could it have also been something going on, even if they didn't affect him? It could have been. Right. But he had that along with those two. That is not a good combination. And people bullying him at school, that's dangerous.
Terry.
Now you are building up a good recipe, for lack of better terms. You are cooking up this recipe for bad danger.
It really is, and if I gotta relate to Terry, because obviously you guys know all too well. But Terry, I was pretty much bullied. Maybe not my entire childhood. I mean, trust me, I did have good moments growing up, but unfortunately, I had kind of a history of mental, emotional, vocal abuse. Not really from other kids, however. It was actually from teachers and staff members, because unfortunately, growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, our understanding of disabilities, especially autism, were not as well understood as they are now. So I was treated different. I was basically kind of put into slavery, if you will, taken against my will, forced to do work while other kids got to play. And, as I look back at it now, I came to that realization that I'm actually still surprised to this day that those thoughts never came through. But it was probably because, fortunately, I had good parents. And I saw social workers. I saw social workers growing up. So yeah, you've spoken to them. Yeah, I saw social workers and stuff. And then if you guys remember, most importantly, I shared this to you guys last year. I even made a documentary on bullying while I was still in high school, and doing all those things. I think that probably kind of saved my life, if you will. Not only for me wanting to have those dark thoughts, but saving others too, like innocent kids I'm talking about.
And I grew up very hard of hearing. My deafness came in when I was 18 months old. It wasn't discovered until I was 5. I grew up different. I was kind of on the fortunate side. Not a whole lot of kids picked on me because of that, but some of them still did. I was lucky that no teacher did.
Right.
um, and my parents they were the best.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
So did I ever have a thought to pick up a gun and go shoot somebody? Hell no.
No.
At the time, I didn't even know what a gun was until I was like 10 years old.
Yep.
Right.
And Terry, like she also said too, junior high, like middle school. Terry, that too. Middle school was worse for me too. That was when all hell broke loose. When I entered, there's always that popular belief that they supposedly say like high school is hell. It may have been, 50, 60 years ago, but that's really changed because when I entered high school, it was so much better than middle school. Like if I had to relive my childhood, like if I had to choose between middle or high school to relive it, I definitely go back to relive high school.
Yeah. Well, everybody handled it differently. I'll say that. Jeremy, he didn't know what a gun was. He had a good mama.
Yeah.
I know both of your parents were very supportive. They were awesome. I'm not going to say mine wasn't. I rebelled against them. My mom died when I was 8. My dad remarried. I rebelled against the stepmom. Yeah. She didn't do anything wrong. That was me.
That's normal. That's normal. Stepkids always rebel against the step.
Oh, yeah.
And
because the kids can't relate to them.
Anything wrong. But so, there's how children react is how they were raised, what they were taught and what they weren't taught. So, I was in a foster home by the time I was 12. I thought of nothing but boys from 12 on. I didn't give a shit what else happened in life. It was boys. And it was whatever boy I was with at that time. That's how life was. If I were to go back to high school now, and I do talk to a lot of the people from high school, and they're like, damn, you grew up cute. Yeah, fuck you. You're the one that made fun of me. And now you want to hit on me? You serious?
Wow.
No. But it does come around. It does.
Hey, guess what? I'm with somebody that I was with back when I was 12 years old.
Exactly.
Or however old you were.
And that little fucker never said nothing like that. But now his brother, that's a different story. He did.
Now, yeah, like what you said and what Jen said, how we handle it is how we are taught.
Yeah, I'll go back to Terry's.
Your parents have a lot to do with how you are. But I will say that there are some, you rebel and parents are like, this is not how I raised you.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with what's on TV now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see something that contradicts what your parents are showing you. It's like, hey, I like this, And that's where the common sense comes in. Okay, you're going to like this. You're going to like Michael Myers going around slashing people with knives. Does that mean that you're going to go start? Absolutely not.
No.
That's where the common sense. This is entertainment. Now we're dealing with real life. You don't want to be going around slashing people with knives because otherwise, chances are somebody's going to kill you.
Or you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, even if you survive. So,
yeah,
it's just like, so even because I watched those movies at a young age and that never fazed me once. I mean, the only thing I ever was mad about when it came to obsession with those movies is I just really wanted to see them, even despite my age. That's all that mattered. It's not that I wanted to get some kind of. It's not that I was trying to get some thrill about kills or anything. I just wanted to see the movie. That was all that mattered to me. And
so a lot of what shapes us is how our parents raised us, how our grandparents are, how our mental stability actually is. Granted, there can be some chemical imbalances in there.
Yeah,
that's going to be a biggie. How you are and your friends, how your peers are, and how your teachers are.
Yeah.
All of that is going to mold what you're going to do, what you see on TV, what you hear in music, and what you see on the video games. Yes, video games have been blamed for certain
Yeah,
tragedies
like
happen.
the
All of
gun
that
gangs.
is going to come into factor as to what molds you into what you're going to be. And the most important thing is what your own personal common sense is going to be.
Yeah,
Is this right? Is this wrong? Should I do this? Should I not?
Terry,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah.
exactly why I can connect with you. I get it.
I can connect with that too because, like, with the things I had going on in middle school, with these, abusive teachers that treated me differently. I mean,
Right.
if you guys knew me back then, and you guys heard of all the issues that were going on literally at that time, if you guys were to ask, saying, "Well, do you have any thoughts of like committing some mass murder or shooting or something?" I'd be like, "Nope, I'm not. I don't have any of those thoughts. I may think about fighting these teachers because they're disrespecting me, but." As
Well,
far as like
we've all
mass.
had that thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah,
other than
you'd
that,
be like, come at me.
yeah, yeah, it's like other than that, from that type of violence, that never crossed my mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we got to go back to Jan's comment here.
Yeah, how we handle is how we are taught.
Right. I don't think so. I disagree with that. Jan, you might have been taught that way by grandma, great grandma, maybe your daddy, but you weren't taught that way for the most part. You learned on your own. You learned who you were on your own. I was taught to never fight, hit, do anything. If somebody makes fun, you just look away. I did
Right.
that all the way up to 7th grade until one of my best friends took me out to the field in front of the school and said, "You know what? This girl wants to fight you." There was about 30 people there.
Wow.
She said, "Let's fight. You need to fight that girl." What? My mom told me if you ever hit, don't come home. So what am I doing? I'm standing here at 7th grade going, what do I do? And I didn't hit her. She hit me. I never hit her back. So my friend took my hand and hit her.
Oh my God.
I
Wow.
was like, no, no, I can't do this. That festered for about a year. And the next time that girl tried to do that, I was in high heels, a mini skirt, and I was going for a job interview. She caught me there.
Oh wow.
Okay. She had about 13 people with her. Okay. Nobody was wanting to fight but her. So we walked out behind the alley and she hit me 3 times. Okay. I had enough. I took her by her beautiful long hair and just like tangled it up in my hand and beat the holy hell out of her face. I was on top of her, beating her. Now, this mini skirt was already up to my waist at this point. I look back and there's a cop behind me in the alley.
Oh.
All he's doing is standing there staring. He don't give shit. He's staring. He sees a teenage girl in lacy underwear. That's all he's seeing. Okay. We get done. I leave. Cop never says a word. Later, I get the nickname Lacey.
Lacey.
Because my underwear was lacy because my miniskirt was done up to my waist. And the cop made that nickname.
Wow.
Gee.
Jeez.
But turning the other cheek, that's okay. Up until they disrespect you enough in front of the whole school. Then you whoop some ass.
I
There's
almost
time
did.
to defend yourself.
I almost did because I mean the best example, and I'll make it short, but again with middle school, I don't know if I told you guys this story before. Actually, there was one occasion. It was 7th grade, and I had a math tutor that I was seeing. Help me out with my math homework, but the way how she did it was a different way. So I still got my homework done, in the end, but we just did it differently. the next morning when I came to school and I turned in my homework, they looked at my work and they were really pissed off that apparently while I had all the answers correctly, it was not done their way, if you know what I mean. And we know what they did? I had an aide that was actually probably the worst out of all of them I ever had. She literally took my sheet of math. She took a pencil and she literally erased everything that I worked on in that math.
No.
If you guys saw me and other kids, you know, I don't talk to any of those kids anymore because you know we've all moved on. They would have all told you the same thing. They said my fists were blowing up. I was ready to attack. I mean, I had enough. And at one point, I almost tried going back and confronting them. And I was stopped by the other kids. They're like, Nick, wait, stop. We're about to graduate middle school. What are you doing? And I'm like, you know, I don't care about graduation or anything. I don't care about any of that because I had enough. But it was, I think, honestly, I mean, it was only really the stop of other kids that prevented me because had they not stopped me, it would have gone. And I didn't care about consequences, you know, that would follow. It was just I finally had enough, and I almost punched one of my teachers that day. I mean, do I somewhat regret it or so? I mean, probably I always say yes and no. I'm glad I didn't do it, but at the same time, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. The anger was too much for me to handle. So, but in the end, at least I was able to graduate successfully.
Yeah. And here's the thing: a lot of us that were either bullied, talked shit to, and it didn't have to be, you know, a whole bunch of bullies,
Right?
One you cared about that said something like that. That's all it took. That's
in my opinion too, and I think we're all going to agree here because again, Terry, you know, has been telling her story, but the fact that I was also going through it through teachers, staff, you know, aides and staff members, you know, they always say, you know, being bullied is the worst, which it certainly is, you know, like especially with other kids. But when you're bullied by staff members, though, that's probably twice as worse because those are people who got authority over you. You can't tell on them. Those are the people that have the authority.
And that's something, Terry.
Yeah, holy cow.
At some point, we need to talk about that. I understand that too.
That actually happened to my dad. He wasn't raised to hate them, but situations when he was in the military taught him to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
that was like the same thing with my grandfather.
Terry, I just got your message. I just responded back to you. Unfortunately, for those time slots, we do not have the room on those days.
Is it for that
Terry,
new show?
The foster thing. I do want to talk to you about that. We're getting ready to foster children, and I want to know what you went through. I want to know what you would have wanted. We need to talk about that. I know it's a whole different world, but we need to at least know what a child would have wanted at that point.
Right. But it's just like absolutely crazy knowing that so much like this has really been happening, and you know we're just seeing so much of these. You know, going back to what we were saying about like all these school shootings and these attacks. It's just like there's because going in my school period, because I was in school from I would say like around 1997, 98, and I was in school. I pretty much went all the way up until 2014. There were at that time only 3, as far as I know. I mean, obviously the notorious ones. There were only 3 during my school period, and that was Columbine in 1999, Virginia Tech in 2007, and Sandy Hook in 2012. Yep. And now it's just becoming a regular basis. It's just insane.
Yeah, and that to go along with what Terry is saying, hatred more times than not, 9 times out of 10, is taught
Yeah.
It
to
is.
children.
Yeah.
Hatred is taught. Now, granted, there is the occasion where somebody's being real shitty to you, and it gets to the point where you just hate that person. Yeah, that happens too. But as a kid, I didn't see color.
Yeah.
There was a black kid that I ran around with when I was 7, 8 years old. We did a lot of stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
I
We
dated a
did
black
not
boy.
see, huh?
I dated a black boy. I
There
didn't
you
see
go.
color.
My first
His mama
girlfriend.
We did,
loved
My first girlfriend was black.
yeah,
Yeah.
we did not see color.
No.
And when it comes to today, you choose to see the color.
Because
That's
you're
how I
Exactly.
taught
see
that
it right
way.
now. You are choosing to see the color of the next person. I don't give a damn. I
Exactly.
don't give a damn what color your skin is.
Yeah. No.
And I got to say this. I mean, my grandfather kind of had. I mean, don't get me wrong. My grandfather was great. I loved my grandfather until he passed away. But understandably, he came from a different era. Growing up in the 50s and 60s, he was never from the South. So, but he stayed. I mean, he was originally born in Italy and then moved to the United States 10 years later in 1926. But he spent the majority of his life in Chicago, and although especially since this was during the height of the Great Migration period, even though Chicago was a much more better place for a lot of African Americans that moved up to Chicago and other northern cities, unfortunately, though, you still had a lot of those, racist kind of people. And my grandfather not necessarily was like one of those, huge, like one of those really bad racist guys. He wasn't like that, but he just didn't like being around him. I remember he asked me about, how come your girlfriend, he asked me, say, how come your girlfriend is black or something, like what's with you? And I just simply said, it's got nothing to do with her skin. It's just because I like her. And we both have the same interests. She likes me. In fact, I was supposed to meet her family, which from what I've heard is they were very supportive, of me after they got to know who I was. There was no color. It had nothing to do with color whatsoever.
No.
It actually kind of reminds me of this. At first, it sounds like a joke, but then you realize it's a lesson. It starts out with a Christian, an atheist,
Mm-hmm.
a Jewish, a person studying Buddhism, and all of these other different religions walk into a bar. Okay, it sounds like you're walking into a joke, but the story is they all sat down, they ate, they drank, they had fun, and they laughed because they didn't care that the next person believed in something completely different from what he did. They
Right.
accepted each other for what they believe in and what they practice. That's a lesson right there to learn.
Very much. And, it's actually, Jeremy, I'll be honest, it's kind of something like that's happening with me nowadays because, I've recently, have met some new people that have become really great friends of mine. And my social group of friends is now actually becoming more an interracial group. It's we're a couple different races, and that's something that I'd like to see more happen. And it's something I've been wanting to see. But again, in the end, it has nothing to do with color. It's just we hang out because we're all great friends. We have the same interests, and it has nothing. We're just a lot of fun to be around with.
Right. And you gotta have enough sensibility, enough common sense, and be a grown up
Exactly.
to accept people for who and what they are.
Let's think about it this way. When somebody dies, do you think you're going to see black energy coming out of them? Chinese energy coming out of them? No.
It's going to look probably almost the same as just about. Well, I mean, partial color, but not exactly that skin color or anything.
No.
Like
And if
that.
there's
No.
reincarnation,
Yeah.
You may become black. You may become
yeah.
Chinese. You may become white.
Or if you're a jackass in this life, the next life you might be a dog.
Yeah.
I hope some are. I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terry, this will paradiversity. We're all different, but we're all important. Yes.
Right.
Right. Bring up Brad.
My child.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, this is a good comment right here. I like this one.
Don't judge by the color. Exactly. And if more people were taught that way, which I was, why does it make a difference? Does it really matter?
A lot of it has to do with how people grow up, and that is why this world isn't such a shit can the way that it is.
It really is.
Guys, we've been on 2.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We need to end this show.
It's been a long show.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
But no, this was a great show, though. Seriously,
it was a really, really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
We were all over the place.
We were, but we were not offensive.
No,
Brad, honey, I will always act a fool. I promise you.
I can listen to you guys even longer.
Well, tell you what, Brad. Tomorrow, Nick and I are doing the 13th Dimension. We're not necessarily going to cover the range tomorrow, what we did tonight, but
because we got two guests, right?
Yeah, you can next week.
Yeah,
and
we'll have Eileen with us. Or we should have Eileen with us.
Yeah,
I won't
she wasn't
be on
here
that
tonight,
one, but I'll be watching.
Oh, you won't be on next?
Not on the 13th.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
Sunday night. Oh yeah, that's right. You're going to be on Terry's show.
Yeah, that's right. I am going to be on Unlocked and Uncensored. That'll be at 11:30 Central Time Sunday night.
Good night, Jill.
So we're going to be talking about this and that.
Jill.
So for all of you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for almost 4 hours. We did not intend to go this long, but sometimes it happens.
It does. It'll probably happen again.
Be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good night, everybody, and we will see you all next week.
We love you all.
Tomorrow.
And Brad just said, remember to go back at the 1 hour 42-minute mark to try to find that girl. They're going to try to look. Love you too.
I would actually go back to 1 hour 40.
Yeah.
Then watch it
come
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to cross her over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and play our outro video.
Good night.
Thank you guys for staying with us for as long as you did. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.